Selamat datang ke sesi kolaborasi STOMACHOFCHAOS bersama laman pop culture suka ramai BuzzPopTV. Saya Kudo Maharizu dari laman blog STOMACHOFCHAOS.com. Sebagai permulaan ingin mengucapkan berjuta terima kasih kepada BuzzPopTV kerana mendapat jemputan untuk menerbitkan sesi reaksi, review dan bedah siri-siri anime terkini. Dan ini sebagai sesi pertama kami, saya bersama para panelis dari BuzzPopTV akan memberi reaksi dan ulasan siri anime yang bertajuk OVERLORD season keempat yang sekarang disiarkan di laman streaming iQIYI setiap hari Selasa. So, bersama saya hari ini, panel malam ini terdiri daripada anime sensei BuzzPop, Andri Alwi, dan juga isekai waifu Hanta.
Macam-macam, konnichiwa dan salam salome desu wa. How you guys?
Fine, thank you. Lama sial tak dengar kau punya deswa. I just needed to hear the deswa for tonight, man.
VTuber forever.
YouTuber forever, yes. Dan juga kaki anime dan Gundam Meister and Eins Ulgon of Subang, Shazli American. Oi.
Benda ni panas punya ketuk. Saja nak gimmick sekali tu je. How's everybody doing? So,
yeah.
Episode,
First episode. So, let's hope I don't screw up this thing. Let's not spoil it. Anyway, so sebelum kita mulakan sesi ulasan kita yang pertama, oleh kerana siri Overlord ini dah gone on for, this is our 4th season, so ada 3 season, so mungkin ada penonton di rumah yang nak juga tahu the gist of the story. So sekarang saya akan mainkan satu klip video pengenalan kepada siri Overlord dengan mengimbau kembali secara ringkas season 1 hingga 3. Siri anime Overlord terbitan studio Madhouse ini berdasarkan siri light novel nukilan Maruyama Kungane yang mula diterbitkan pada tahun 2012, di mana ilustrasi dan reka bentuk karakter pula digarap oleh pelukis So Bin. Sehingga kini, siri genre dark fantasy dan isekai ini wujud dalam bentuk manga terbitan Kadokawa dan siri anime pada tahun 2015. Overlord menceritakan avatar seorang virtual gamer bernama Momonga terperangkap di dunia sebuah dive MMORPG yang bertajuk Yggdrasil akibat Momonga yang bertekad untuk berada di alam virtual itu sehingga saat terakhir. Namun, alam Yggdrasil itu tidak ditutup seperti yang dijangkakan. Sebaliknya, makam Nazarick yakni kubu pertahanan Momonga dan rakan-rakannya sekarang berada di alam yang baru. Momonga pula mendapati non-player characters atau NPC yang dicipta oleh beliau dan rakan-rakan memperlihatkan kebolehan untuk sekarang beraksi dan bertutur. Dari saat itu, Momonga mengambil keputusan menggunakan Eins Ulgon sebagai nama baru beliau untuk memulakan persediaan menakluki dunia sementara mencari permain Yggdrasil lain, lebih-lebih lagi rakan-rakan seperjuangan lama beliau jika mereka masih wujud di dunia baru ini. Untuk memperkenalkan secara ringkas siri ini kepada penonton di rumah, Season 1 menunjukkan bagaimana Eins Ulgon meninjau landscape dunia baru ini bermula dengan sebuah kampung yang diancam sebuah kuasa luar. Season kedua pula, Eins memulakan pelan beliau untuk penaklukan dunia secara berperingkat sehingga pertempuran berlaku di negara Reaksi. Dan secara tidak langsung, Eins berjaya menguasai separuh dari negara tersebut. Penaklukan dunia diteruskan di season 3 di mana pertempuran di negara Reaksi mendapat perhatian Empayar Baharuth. Sekarang permainan politik bermula yang diakhiri dengan sebuah pertempuran amat dahsyat yang menumbangkan tentera Reaksi dan Eins sekarang berjaya menguasai E-Rental, sebuah bandaraya jajahan Reaksi yang terus dijadikan ibu kota kerajaan baru Eins Ulgon. Anime Overlord ini bukan hanya wujud sebagai siri yang disiarkan di televisyen di Jepun, beberapa episod pendek pernah juga diterbitkan bersama penjualan box set DVD oleh studio Madhouse dan juga dalam bentuk Original Net Animation atau ONA. Kompilasi siri Overlord dalam bentuk filem bertajuk The Undead King dan The Dark Warrior juga pernah diterbitkan oleh Madhouse pada tahun 2017. Sekarang kita kembali ke perbincangan panelis untuk season keempat Overlord. So, saya sebelum kita continue, saya nak bagi ni satu ralat. Saya mungkin ni sedikit particular tentang benda-benda macam ni. Re-estize itu salah, dia re-estize. So ampun. Saya found out later on bila saya finish editing that video. But anyway, that aside, so sesi malam ni saya dan para panelis akan membedah Overlord Season 4 episod 1 hingga 8. So, seperti biasa, kita akan memulakan pembincangan malam ini dengan reaksi satu balik.
Ada.
That's just for you guys. Anyway, reaksi satu ayat saya untuk keseluruhan siri Overlord ini adalah dari Suspiciously. Isekai ni sama macam yang lain ke? Surprisingly interesting dengan jalan cerita penuh dengan world building. So, kepada semua para panelis, apakah pengalaman anda dengan siri anime Overlord secara keseluruhannya dan apakah reaksi satu ayat anda terhadap siri ini, termasuk episod yang terkini iaitu episod 8 bagi siri Overlord Season 4. So, kita mulakan dengan Andri. Dipersilakan.
Okay. Every time saya tengok Overlord, right, I watch Overlord, the reaksi is usually more myth related. But overall in spirit kan, it's Sasuga Ain sama. Because one of the, despite all the fan service kan, the best part of Overlord is basically Ain sama punya reactions tau. And the reaction dengan dia punya NPCs, it's always, I kena kentut kat belah kiri. Oh, Sasuga Ain sama, that's brilliant. No, you have just showed us the way to conquer the kingdom or something like that. Everything is misinterpreted. It's funny as hell. And this is not your typical isekai. Actually, it had a lot of problems, challenges masa mula-mula. Sorry, focus. You can understand before Overlord, right? This sort of thing kan, yang buat impact kan was Sword Art Online tau. You got caught in the game and then you are at least for season 1 kan, it was stellar, bagus. When it comes the other season Sword Art Online dah started to decline, at least for me, in terms of priorities and plot attractiveness. Basically, it's not as you're not so invested like when you watch it for the first season. Overlord is different because every time you see Overlord, right, something's always happening in background. Every little detail, right, is carefully put to nourish and grow and be relevant in the next season. Example kan, in season 4, the Dwarf Kingdom arc, it was discussed by us all gone masa dia mula venture out from dia punya castle and try to become the apa namanya, Momon, the
Dark Warrior tu yang
the Dark Warrior. He wanted to start dia punya own legacy like as a hero. He started off as like a bronze level swordsman. And he joined
dia cekai gila lah masa dia mula-mula start, tapi sebenarnya terror.
And he actually joined this group of adventurers who end up gets wiped out by Clementine later in season 1 lah. But during the whole process kan, they were talking, and one of the adventurers kan yang kasih dia buku, ada buku diary of all dia punya log adventures kan. He talks about the icy mountains where the frost dragons live, and then there's a Dwarf Kingdom. You don't see it in season 2, season 3, but you see it in season 4. This season everything pays out. Every little bullshit apa yang you dengar kan will roll into snowball, will appear somewhere down the line. Even that part when he jatuhkan the healing potion for this one girl and give her another potion, it causes a chain reaction kan that becomes a key plot not only for that series, also a key plot in season 2 and season 3 where Carney Village kan, yang the Henry and the boyfriend kan buat the research. Everything is relevant. I mean if Ain scroll down berak dalam jamban and then in season 5 kan jamban kan tiba-tiba jadi the fountain of youth something, right? It could happen. So everything you see and remember, right, has a point of relevance. I don't think a lot of isekai does this. A lot of isekai, they have this Marisu character yang bagus lah, tak nak conquer lah, tak nak ambil kesempatan kat orang. But Ain's Algor is practical. He will kill people, a baby kalau boleh, if it is for a greater good down the line somewhere. And
it's more than Machiavellian.
It's more than that. It's just like, okay, I'm going to do this because I want this. It's going to be interesting how it plays out along the way. Because most of the time kan, gets worse or gets better. And he works from there, and it's very interesting to see. We are invested in everything in the story. We're invested in the progress, the plot, everything. So it's not your typical isekai. And people say, "Oh, Hans is evil." Not really. You see in the world where they live in, that's very pretty evil. Slavery is tolerated, and then the 8 fingers, they'll pretty control the kingdom after the literal kingdom. So you see he's trying to bring some order. It may not be clean, but it's better. So we question who's the real enemy, not enemy, the really evil force in this story. Because so far, right, I don't see a force that's totally, 100% towards the light.
Tak nampak semua yang baik.
Yeah.
So yang nampak baik pun mungkin ada juga orang panggil keburukan dia. Anyway, so what about you, Shazli? Shaz, your thoughts? Apakah reaksi satu ayat untuk in general, because at least ni kita macam what Andre did, kita bagi preamble kan, nak bagi tahu apa our impression of, because I have my own opinion juga, tak apalah, but you go first.
Season 4 ni banyak sangat sembang. And dia punya how do I put it it's less personal, because now they are going into a political level punya point in the storyline. So kalau kita bandingkan dengan the first 3 seasons, you get to know the characters deeper. And season 4 ni, it requires you to actually know the characters ahead of time. Kalau tidak, kau tak tahu dia orang punya motivation, kau tak tahu dia punya the reasonings. And then first time kalau kau tengok the girls swooning over Ain's Ulgo ni, dia like kenapa dia orang macam falling head over heels over him. So you will be greatly rewarded if you watch season 1, 2, 3. And dia punya season 4 actually is not really a good point to start. Kalau macam anime lain, contohnya macam Initial D, kalau kau start like season 3 in the film, kau tak tahu apa pun. All you know that mamak ni terror bawa kereta, and then they're like, we're going to do a lot of racing and all that. You can start from there, then you can watch season 1 and 2, and then the following seasons after that. But Overlord 4 ni, they take certain liberties such that they assume you have watched a lot of the character punya history lah. Like the story between Shoutier dengan bila Shoutier got turned, and then when the rest of them, what is their reaction to that event. And they in one of the episodes, was it 6 or 7, and they cakap, this is the opportunity for you to grow. So it's like, kan everybody is growing ke? Why is she singled out for this?
Interesting that you, sorry. It was interesting, Shaz. You mention yang kata macam season 4 kan banyak sembang kan. Tapi because macam kalau kita tengok how they pan out seasons 1, 2 and 3 up to now pun, interestingly they've not left out a single volume of the light novel. Tapi macam nanti kita akan cakap lah pasal something dalam season 4 ni. Tapi I think mungkin kita dah tiba, macam kita start dekat season 4 je macam tak ada apa pun cerita ni, jalan-jalan kat dalam pekan kosong, tak ada apa kan. Because pasal action yang all the big events yang teruk-teruk tu kita dah tengok at the end of season 3 sebagai contoh je lah.
Yeah. Season 4 ni is macam Henry kata is a payoff punya season for people who has watched 1, 2 and 3. Sama macam kalau kita compare dengan MCU, if you watch Avengers Infinity War first, you're like, wow, cerita ni hebat. Tapi kau tak tahu kenapa dia hebat. Nampak tak? You did not watch the history behind it. You can still watch it. But I takut kalau you watch season 4, sebabkan dia banyak, like I say lah, dia banyak sembang. I mean, I'm not saying the sembang is boring, but for people watching it for the first time, they don't realize benda dia banyak lagi. There was a lot of emotional ties in season 1, especially dengan adventurous punya party tu. Dengan season 2 and 3 when they started expanding the intrigue and everything. So now this is the political part. So memang naturally politik ni is less interesting to most people lah.
I just want to add, I can understand why season 4 banyak cakap, because after what happened in season 2 and season 3, right? I don't think a lot of people is going to be eager to attack, the Social Kingdom for war. They've seen what happened. So a lot of the political backstabbing and fighting going on behind the scenes, right? It fits the storyline lah, because we want to deal with Ice All Gone's forces, but not directly, because we know what happens when you go all out war with the Social Kingdom. Dia seorang dia bunuh like 7,000 sekelip mata je. So we have to do some preparations lah. And okay, I just remember one thing, the Jabal Dwarf punya war with the Theocracy, right? I think they're going to cover it in the movie or something. Kau tak silap.
Kita akan talk about that in segmen keempat, because it was a little something that mula-mula bila dia orang Madhouse announced about film, I think they just announced it barely over a week ago. Tapi masih tak ada date. Tapi nanti kita akan cakap pasal wayang ni.
Yeah. Actually they give a notice a month ago. Just the visual.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. But the key visual of the poster came out last week. I mean, just nak tambah to all your points lah. I think compared to you guys, I'm the newest yang tengok semua ni. I actually did binge all this last month. Because mula-mula yang menyebabkan I thought the story macam macam nak kata apa cerita ni. Mula-mula yang cerita ni cerita kelakar tau. Because episod pertama, season pertama, kita tahulah apa jadi kan. Masa dia tukar albedo punya she's madly in love with me tu. Lepas tu dia buat benda tu, ingat, weh, ni cerita kelakar ke? Tapi and then semakin tengok, okay, dia buat serius, okay, fine. Okay lah, fine. Anime mana yang tak ada beat kelakar dalam cerita serius? So biasalah, tengok lah. Lepas tu lama-kelamaan bila saya tengok, macam bila dia buat macam like what you said, Andri, sorry, it's supposed to be me kalau I'm talking. Bila dia buat something like what you say, if I need to get rid of this city, women and children are not spared. So I was like, jap, kau player, kau manusia, aku tahu lah kau lupa kau macam ni, tapi are you at the moment playing a game to, are you actually now a leash or an undead that's now eroding your humanity? So banyak soalan I was trying to reconcile, because macam dia buat benda jahat, tapi yet at the same time dia nak macam like you say again, dia nak utopia, dia nak semua orang, dia nak kaum ni dapat treatment yang baik, kaum ni dapat treatment yang bagus. Tapi at the same time, sebelum tu dia kena subjugate spesies atau kaum tu dulu, macam the lizard people kan. Dia bukan subjugate macam tunjuk aku kuat, dia bunuh. So I was like, aku macam so macam kau ni jahat ke? Memang dia jahat, because tempat ni isekai terbalik kan. Most of the time people bila masuk isekai jadi hero. This is the demon lord, the demon king. Dalam isekai mana-mana mission dia mesti saya nak kena defeat the demon king. Tapi ni isekai terbalik, orang ni lah demon king. Tapi at the same time, so macam at the end of the day, lepas 3 season, I just have to like terima je lah, because dah dia jahat. Tapi dia bila malam dia kena tidur juga, dia nak buka buku cerita juga, dia nak minum kopi juga. So macam okay, because kita pasal tengok dalam any form of stories, orang jahat ni jahat, dia tak boleh buat benda macam manusia biasa, macam pergi tandas ke, minum kopi ke, have a wife ke, you know. That's my thought lah.
That point that you raised tu, that one is masa he got transported into the isekai world ni, it begins to blur tau antara Ainz Ulgon the character and Ainz Ulgon the player. Because masa dia as a player in the MMO, they were just a strong guild where might is right, and they conquered the strongest dungeon and converted it into their own guild hall. Siap pada levels of challenges and whatnot untuk dia orang pergi serang. But no other guild has managed to come close tau. You bayangkan kalau masa kalau nak guna football punya ni lah. Ingat tak ada 1 tahun tu yang Arsenal undefeated?
Tak minat bola.
Ada 1 year Thierry Henry dia undefeated. But basically
it's familiar.
Kalau katakan kita nak compare dengan cerita-cerita lain kan, macam Slam Dunk, we have bukan Kainan, what was the team yang menang ini? Kainan got second. Kainan got first or second?
Second. National
second, right? Yeah, but basically kalau in any anime, there tends to be to show the struggle, the hero growth and everything, there will be a super king punya team. In this case, they are moving past that. What happens when your super powerful group is no longer relevant? So this is it lah. Outside in the real world, kau siapa? You are nobody. But in your isekai world, in your MMO, you are the strongest guild, and the number 2 guild cannot even clear your first dungeon. You are too far ahead. So dia punya character was a lich or demi-lich, which is heavily involved in necromancy and magic punya power. And he has come to the point where kalau you main you play MMORPGs, a lot of your class specifications tend to limit what you can do. But it seems that the MMO yang diorang main ni, you can get a lot of things which really make you really strong tau. Macam immunity to basic weapons, immunity to low level magic punya spells and weapons. So dia macam, he feels very strong. And when you have that mindset, di mana might is right, and then you are transported into this world, the world itself, ni assuming this is a world by itself lah, bukan a scripted super event where the last player gets to go through all this. Let's assume that memang dia kena transport ke situ. So when he is transported there, all of the entire guild, the entire faction under him, anybody who is transported there, NPC or otherwise, whatever their character is, itulah dia. So my speculation, dalam anime dia belum terangkan lagi lah, but there's a lot of time dia nak break character je, nak menjadi macam he himself, dia kan ada green light.
Yes.
Yes. Stop him from breaking character. Dia tak boleh cakap, dia tak boleh macam tiba-tiba break free. Oh, benda macam ni kita kenalah buat PowerPoint presentation, lepas tu kita kena buat Excel, Word. Tak ada. He cannot break free of his character that he has set masa dia main game. So because of that, he doesn't feel the guilt of killing any of them, because as far as the necromancer is concerned, life is nothing.
So because mula-mula I thought masa bila dia jadi hijau tu was just him going macam ada dia terlalu happy ke apa, atau or was it extra data being inputted into his brain ke apa. But when you mention it that way, then it makes more sense. Then patutlah dia boleh, sebagai manusia you tak because macam for example kan, lepas that battle at the padang pertempuran kat padang yang in the end of season 3 yang macam masa everybody saw how he wallop like berapa puluh ribu with one shot. I mean those soldiers had wives and children, and then because it's alluded in episode 4, season 4, yang one of the suggestions by one of the kan masa Ains kat office kan dia tanya dia dah tengok cadangan daripada dia punya minion sama dia kita patut buat orphanage. At least kita boleh anak-anak yang dah diyatimkan, tapi dalam hati kan macam tahu juga engkau mati orang tu, because dalam game bila kita main game kan kita bunuh tahu characters, tapi kita tak fikir apa pasal game. That's why I was like thinking, dia ingat ni game ke? But then this is a game. But then again, tu dah kepala aku in the past 3 season I was trying to reconcile. Apa dunia ni sebenarnya? Because at the moment, personally, I do not know. I don't know if anybody else does know. Dunia ni apa? Is this a game or is this an actual other dimension? But that's what made it more interesting as it went on. Itulah.
I wanted to add another thing yang I teringat. People forget kan that this show is actually kan a comedy actually. Adventure comedy is a dark comedy because
yes,
you see
dark comedy, yes, but not comedy.
You see the NPC yang Ains ada and NPC of that world that they transport in now. The NPC that transport in that world kan, dia punya skill kan macam Dynasty Warriors 1 for the PS1 tau. Tapi dia punya NPC Ains kan dengan dia sekali kan, they were like they sparkles for the PS5 Elden Ring punya level tau. There's no comparison which one is better suited, better fighters tau. You see the Dark Knight kan, satu tu kan boleh lawan macam 1,000 orang kan. Yeah, it shows you how unbalanced this game world is tau.
Interesting bila you mention unbalanced. I thought we are going on, but I think this kita nak set the scene juga lah, because ni nak tahu at least nonton di rumah, kalau yang tak pernah tengok nak tahu apa pasal cerita ni, ada ada layers and dia punya cerita dan dunia dia cuma apa pasal quite penuh lah dengan detail. You were what? Apa you cakap tadi?
I say it was imbalance. Elden Ring versus
imbalance.
Because
actually kan kalau nak fikir kan, dalam 3 season ni kan Ains dengan pihak dia satu cala pun tak ada apa tau. Tapi yet kita tengok bila dia tunjuk certain scenes kan, especially that of the Slane Theocracy which we'll mention later, I wonder if they've got something up their sleeves, because there were a few scenes I think in season 2 yang ada one time there was this old lady talking to a dragon. I was taken aback, like what's that about? Because I had to look it up on Wiki to find out who she was, and then when I read about her I'm like, oh, dia orang macam ni. So a few more theories start coming out dalam kepala, macam pasal dunia ni macam ni kot. Tapi tak apalah, nanti kita tackle those kind of things yet. If you don't mind, let's just have a quick look at a couple of beberapa questions lah. Sekejap, ada ni daripada soalan dari komen lah dari Muhammad Yasir. Patutnya Madhouse buat prequel Iron Girl Takluk Nazarik. Actually satu box set yang was in the video just now. Dia ada DVD nama Prologue. Mungkin you have anda pernah tengok dekat internet ke apa, gambar karakter asal Ains di Jepun pakai VR kamera duduk dekat kursi kan, because gambar tu bukannya gambar dia buku, gambar daripada anime. So Madhouse buat, dia tunjuk pada just nak bagi sedikit background, game yang bernama Yggdrasil tu sebuah diving MMORPG, basically the VR MMORPG lah. Dia dunia di planet bumi masa tu abad ke-22. So the game dibuat tahun 2162 lah. Sangat popular dekat Jepun. Game ni buatan Jepun. So Ains ni nama betul dia Satoru Suzuki. So dia ni salaryman dekat Jepun ni, orang yang pergi kerja balik rumah, tak ada life.
Nama dia pun generik gila weh, Satoru Suzuki.
So dia balik rumah je, dia makan kejap, dia straight main game. So
grind.
So dia main game ni dia 12 tahun. I mean betul ada mention macam ada mention dalam episod pertama, tapi masa Yggdrasil nak tutup untuk selama-lamanya, bila company tu decide nak hentikan game tu, kita tengok episod 1 dalam season 1 tu, Ainz bercakap dengan dia punya colleagues lah yang macam aku malas nak main lah, aku nak kerja lah, aku nak jaga anak lah, that kind of thing kan. Because it's been 12 years, they've been grinding, diorang masuk di dungeon 7 lapisan, dah tawan the whole thing and buat that dungeon their own castle. So makam Nazarik tu is actually, if I'm not mistaken lah, so kalau siapa yang boleh correct saya kat chat, boleh bagi komen, it was one of the difficult dungeons to be taken in the game, and they managed to tackle the whole thing and they made it their own place. You know, dia orang semua terror. So 41 orang. So in the end dia tu yang dia tinggal seorang, dia yang jiwang seorang nak macam mengimbau kenangan, and then in the end dia yang stuck. So tapi itulah dia nak macam, tapi dalam kita tengok dalam 3 season ni, dia nak cari ada tak kawan-kawan dia yang mungkin tak belah. So sampai sekarang tak tahu lagi tau. Tapi nantilah kita discuss, ada banyak clues mengenai dunia baru ni yang tak ada nama. Dia kata new world je, because bila dia orang dah masuk dunia ni, masa semua on NPC tu hidup, makam Nazarik ni pun dah move to a new place. So dunia ni memang completely new to them. It's not the world of Yggdrasil that they knew. And this time dia punya NPC semua bukan sentient, what's the word lah bila dia orang dah ada perpingkaran sendiri.
Sentient lah. Achieve sentient. Macam kalau PC AI achieve sentient. They know what they are.
Awareness.
Itu ada lagi.
Yang menariknya ni,
yes,
is because the current world that they're in right now menggunakan terms and spell names yang sama tau. Dia bukan macam generic term. It's like you say like fireball, dia orang tak panggil ball of fire, dia call fireball. And then dia ada specific terms, macam it's like greater maximize agility. It's a specific term tau. Mana ada manusia belajar, you know, martial art kan, aku punya skill ni dipanggil greater maximize ability. That is a game term. You akan cakap I will boom my agility. That's it. Kau tak ada cakap greater maximize ni. Like kalau you tengok dia punya duel dengan Shoutier, dia guna all kinds of skills. Like triple maximize, explosion mine, yang ni I tak ingat sebab dia banyak spell dia cast at the same time. Those are what you expect to read masa you main game. So a person in a world, dia takkan kita makan contoh terbaik lah. Kalau you tengok Kamen Rider dulu, long time ago, dia sepakan, padu, paut, mana ada kita jerit macam tu. We don't shout that kind of thing in real life. Kita tendang je. All the games and everything is things which dah lah they yell out the skill name, but the skill name cara dia tulis pun is like a game term punya name. So that is the question mark that Ainz is very curious about. Yes, nampak ni yang Yassi mention ni, dia ada buff, dia ada cash items. Benda tu memang Ainz as somebody who is from Yggdrasil punya game world, dia faham there is cash item. Ni RM5 punya cash item, you know, and then they have buff spells. But why would a character in the game call it that?
So tu yang menunjukkan yang really nak tahu dunia ni mana asal dia. Because kalau kita tengok ni I baca lah, bukannya datang daripada anime. I don't think they covered kot, because Yggdrasil ni I think is tak ingat legend dari atau mitologi negeri mana. I might Vikings or whatever, but please somebody tell
World
if you
tree.
guys know.
It's the world tree.
Dia pokok, dia banyak daun kan. So dia orang cakap, adakah dunia ni antara satu dari daun-daun dalam pokok Yggdrasil ni, or you know, it's things like that, those little concepts. Kugane ni respect lah. Actually dia macam ada meme tau. Author Overlord relax je tulis. anime kecoh nak bubuh semua benda. Kan gila. Tapi because yalah in fact this year dah 10 tahun dah dia punya light novel dah keluar. Dia relax je buat cerita dia. So like you were saying like you were saying those terms kan. I don't know whether this was mentioned by a character, I totally can't remember, but you know the word leveling up in a game?
Yeah.
Apparently in season 1 or one of the earlier volumes, dalam bahasa orang negara ni dan di dunia ni, dia kata labor ringgap is a word to show that nak naikkan. So macam it's like mana dia orang dapat perkataan ni, like you say lah, tapi it's like in a different kind of way to pronounce it. So it's as if they've heard it before thousands of years ago, hundreds of years ago, and topik ni pun still quite a lot.
There's also another point yang you can take a look at. The spellcasters, they will say, oh, this is a level 4 spell. This is a level 6 spell. Kan?
Level 10, level 11.
So they will call the principality ke apa ke yang dia lawan in the open field tu. So macam like, this is the strongest spell that we have. I macam like, ini je ke? Is this your ultimate trump card? Benda ni aku dah lama tak farming dia, the experience point tu.
Exactly. And then dia suka hot barang. Reminds me of myself masa main Final Fantasy, suka potion 99, high potion 99. Kalau boleh semua ada. Bukan pakai pun, bukan masa tu dah terror gila pun, ada 99 high potion.
Mega elixir 99.
Whatever lah, semua penuh.
Bila? Betul orang tanya bila aku nak pakai, tak tahu.
Tak tahu. So anyway, okay, so saya rasa jom kita, sebelum kita pergi ke segmen seterusnya, pasal tadi kita dah tengok sedutan sedikit mengenai introduction kepada Overlord secara keseluruhannya. Kita nak tengok whether teaser untuk Overlord season 4 just nak bagi kita a flavor of apa ada dalam season ni. So kita dah tengok episod 1 hingga 8. Agak-agaknya mungkin kita dah 2/3. Syaz, have you got the YouTube link?
Yeah, the YouTube is ready. Aku just nak share screen.
But I cannot see it. Yeah, can you just share it?
Baru nak buka ni. I'm just waiting for your
okay. Yeah. Thumbs up please.
Now.
I just add to stream first. And let's go. Memang tak ada audio
ada?
Ke tak muzik aku kuat sangat?
No audio.
Tak apalah, cakap Jepun pun. Ada subtitle. Oh dude, ini silap. This is the trailer for episode 9.
Oh, kau nak main apa?
The other one, kan I give you a last one yang kat message dekat. Ada tak a second link? Kalau tak ada tak apalah.
Ada ke? Bukan, I missed it kot.
I see, sorry. I sent it in the WhatsApp. But tak apalah. So kita sekarang since kita dah ni agaknya I think the longest reaksi satu ayat I've ever experienced. Probably you guys have experienced a longer one. So sekarang jom kita ke segmen perbincangan kita yang pertama.
Ada.
Tak boleh tu. Aku tak boleh tu.
Kena lah. Ini wajib lah. So anyway, so let's. Okay, untuk segmen ni kita akan tumpukan basically to the episode yang banyak sembang lah. Episod 1 dengan 2. Episod 1-2 ni dia merangkumi sebahagian daripada volume 10 light novel oleh tak boleh cakap oleh Kudo ni. Dan soalan pertama untuk Syaz, so basically the calm after the storm. Apakah pendapat anda tentang keadaan dan suasana bandaraya Erantel yang dikuasai kerajaan Ain Ulgun selepas kekalahan tentera Reaksi di medan pertempuran Kaz yang kita saksikan di penghujung musim ketiga? Lebih-lebih lagi dengan penggunaan tentera undead di skala pelusuk sebuah kota yang otherwise didiami manusia. Lengang je. So, silakan.
Aku rasa dia punya reaction is very realistic because aku tak tahu how big the capital is, but 100,000 soldiers killed within 10 minutes. That is aku pun tak tahu nak cakap macam mana. Kalau you just imagine you punya bandar that you're staying in right now, berapa banyak orang ada kat situ. Let's say kalau ada 300,000, tiba-tiba 1/3 hilang tau. Berapa banyak, let's say yang ada family tu satu hal lah. Rumah-rumah yang bujang ni, tiba-tiba dalam sederet rumah next in your neighborhood, tiba-tiba 3 rumah tu dah tak ada orang. So it's going to be a ghost town, and dia punya logistics and all of that is going to be greatly affected lah. Kita jangan lupa tau, the soldiers, we do not know if they are full-time punya soldiers or they could be conscripts. Di mana okay, ada perang besar nak datang, everybody who can wield a sword or a spear, we need your assistance now. Dalam keadaan peperangan besar macam ni, dia akan panggil lah orang-orang macam yang bersemangat seperti ni. Macam Malaysia, kita ada rela. So the army is the full time, rela is the volunteer. So how many of those soldiers yang died are volunteers? Why this matters is kalau if it's volunteers, that means dia punya blacksmith dah tak ada, dia punya tukang tak ada. Some of them could be leather makers. Setengah orang tu mungkin just
kedai runcit
jenis yang some people working tempat tempat berak semua ni, they are the ones clean out the shit. Yalah, literally. So now 100,000 of them gone and it's majority men. So now suddenly you have the scenario di mana you have a lot of widows and then you have orphans. You know, for all we know, there could have been some ladies among the soldiers as well. We do not know. So their reaction kepada the new overlord literally is that ini kita takut ni, kita kena bow down. We are very kita tak boleh nak bagi dia panas, because kalau dia panas ni mampus kita semua. And the important thing is, mana pergi 5 kambing tu? They have not shown where those.
I think kambing tu hilang kot lepas dah habis.
Tak, they were shown hanging around, and then after that they dah habis resolve whatever fight they have and all that. Lepas tu they move tempat lain. Lepas tu dia tak cerita dah kambing tu di mana.
So, I guess is they're just summons after sometimes they just dissipate lah, because Ain's cut off the mana supply or something like that lah.
Mungkin mungkin benda tu is mungkin sehari je ke or you know.
Bayangkan you have all those goats running around the field, man. No way. Jom bercuti. Mana mak? Kambing makan.
But anyway, the reaction of the population is realistic.
Yeah.
And this is where Ain's the player and Ain's the character. Kat sini lah kita boleh start nampak dia punya disconnect dia. Dia tak faham lagi that his actions is causing real world problems to the population. Sebab dia tak nampak dia punya ni. Dia nak, I will fulfill the goal of Nazareth, what I want to do.
Actually tapi, kan dia tak nampak ke atau memang dia nampak dan dia tahu? Ada clues tak dalam cerita?
Ada. He tahu, he knows the weight of his actions. It's just that he doesn't care because of that spell tu. It just dissipates dia punya guilt tau.
Itu pun my feeling. Although itu yang buat I pening cerita ni, because pasal apa tau, dia macam katalah lepas dia bunuh 1,000 orang, perempuan, anak, lelaki, budak-budak.
I feel nothing.
I feel, lepas tu aku nak pergi, okay dah habis perang, okay jom cuti for Dixon. He has that kind of
Yep.
That kind of attitude. So aku macam
Even kita tengok episode 7 or 8 when they massacre the dog. Apa nama yang dog punya tu?
Dog.
Alah, in 7 and 8 kan dia orang serang the ones who were attacking the dwarf.
ya Koagoa tu yang dekat the dwarf tu.
Kobold. Kobold
Kan?
Ni mana season the current
Season 4.
Current season.
Yang dalam gua tu lah.
Dia cakap choose 3,000 ke 30,000 of your people.
Ya.
Men, women, children, the rest will die.
Ya.
Literally though. That's it. So sekarang ni, why I say there is a disconnect antara Ainz the character and Ainz the player is that bila dia pergi keliling, dia tengok kenapa dia orang semua takut. I have given them things. No, I have the security.
That will be Ainz the player.
Yes,
Talking.
that's Ainz the player.
Yes.
So nampak tak? Dia macam like they question like, kenapa orang semua ni?
Yes.
You know, there's problems here, problems there, and then dia macam like, what? I want to build a utopia for them. Why are they not accepting? So nampak tak? Dia nak buat benda baik. The soldiers were in his way. So macam like, okay lah, kau soldier, bunuh je lah. But then after that, dia tak faham dia punya actions, how the people view his actions as a leech. Because to him, he is Ainz the player. But orang tengok dia as Ainz the character.
Yes.
So dia akan macam like, dia ada shizo kat situ tau. Dia susah nak comprehend that you are a leech. You are not a player playing a leech.
Yeah.
Orang semua panggil kau Demi Leech, Leech King, Leech Lord.
Betul. Because everybody takut kat dia. Because yet he wants a utopia, and yet kita nampak dia do things to make things fair for people, but at the same time his actions before that is like you were Hitler only last month, and today you are Mahatma Gandhi. So I'm like, I'm doing the Jackie Chan look at the moment. So but there you go.
Kita jangan lupa dia punya actions with the Frost Dragon dia go straight to little
Oh gosh, macam tu je.
Grasp hard, ambil cerita dan dia tak ada macam bagi kau buta dulu. Dia buka dulu. Jangan cakap tahu tak?
Atau just twist your finger lah sekejap.
Bagi bengkok tangan dia.
Tak
twist the
ada.
neck apa tak ada. Terus
do you know
die.
Do you know why? He wanted the body parts.
Because that's the Japanese salaryman talking in his head. Dia tu yang kata daripada somebody yang advanced ke simplistic.
He wants the parts. He wants the scale. He wants the fangs. He wants the bones. Apa yang baki tu kan, he will resurrect as a fallen dragon. I think that's what he said. So actually, he's practical. Okay, I just destroy the heart. The rest I can take out. All dia punya dragon testicles I can buat apa the brandy or whatever lah.
Viagra.
And then the dick apa I make the best sausages apa in the land. Okay, you never know. He's practical.
This is the part where he needs to come to terms with that his actions do not match his intentions, and people judge him on his actions, bukan intentions dia.
But the question is, right, he doesn't have to come to terms with it because he's the strongest creature in that particular world. He can do whatever he wants and nobody can actually contradict him. And to be fair, all the NPCs treat him as a living god. Everything he does is correct. Every action that they buat is like 10,000 years plan in advance. Macam apa he tersalah kata dekat Demiurge. And they believe him. Demiurge is the smartest and he percaya bulat-bulat. Wah, saya suka sama.
No, that's the thing. He can do whatever he wants. Tapi dia punya morality is slowing him down. Which is why, that's why kalau kita tengok a lot of time, kita nampak that green aura come out because it stops him from being Ainz the player. And it forces him to become Ainz the character.
Yeah, I guess kita boleh tengok komen ni pun kan. I mean just basically Yasir pun describing what we have said lah. Because the leash is an undead, tak ada perasaan blah blah. But at the same time masih lagi ada percubaan untuk reconcile Satoru, the human player, stuck in Japan, and as you say, once you're already a leash, you're a leash lah.
There is also a possibility that dia deep down inside masih percaya this is just an MMO in some way.
Yang bestnya
macam kita main game, kita bunuh 1000 football relax je.
Yalah. Sedangkan mana tahu menggeletar binatang tu yang kita nak bunuh. Anyway.
Kita main Final Fantasy, kita pergi pusing. Random encounter. Pusing, random encounter. Just get the farm and literally do what yang Andri mentioned tadi lah. I need 3 of these drops. I need to farm here for another 2 hours.
Tapi aku kadang-kadang dalam Final Fantasy, aku bila kena farm macam dulu nak ambil pedang Sunflower for Final Fantasy 12, kena dapat 100 tulang tau. So at least I have to kill 100 undead or something, so I don't feel guilty. It's not like please kill 100 bunny rabbits. I will go like sort your sunflower, sort I'll buy something else. Tapi kan, kita just cuit sikit kan. Yalah.
The worst thing that you can do, or rather benda yang paling susah to me was in Final Fantasy 10 to get Lulu punya ultimate weapon.
Yes, 1000 thunder dodge.
100 ke 1000? I think 100 kot.
1,000. No, not 100. 1,000.
Dia ada cactus.
Dia 100 continuous tau. Kau at 99 kau kena reset to 0 kau tau.
It's not 100, it's 1,000.
Ultimate weapon dia cactus doll tu Cactua tu.
Tak. Dia punya weapon is some stuff or something. Aku tak pernah dapat. I couldn't get it.
Aku tak ingat shit.
Tak ada.
It's
worth it. Yeah.
You will feel it bergegar. Then kena dodge. Gegar.
Ya Allah, lama tak main tu. Tak ingat tu. Because
aku pernah sampai
I couldn't get ultimate for everybody. I got for certain characters because some of the, I think macam for example for Cloud punya kena main football, that the blaze ball tu, I really do not know how to play regardless of reading or zaman dulu pun mana ada YouTube nak bagi tahu how to play and what not. Let me see. Okay. Anyway, just a follow up. Soalan kedua kita nak tanya, this one for Andri. So ekoran dari soalan tadi, apa pendapat anda tentang keputusan Ains untuk memberi sokongan kepada Adventurers Guild atau Persatuan Pengembara Bokensha Gyurudo yang kelihatan agak lengang, kosong dia punya guild hall. Silakan.
You know why dia lenggang kosong? Because
mati.
Those people mati. Yeah. And those yang tak mati, they get the fuck away from the place because they know what's going to happen to them if they stick around.
A lot of them went to Baharuth, I think.
Baharuth, yeah. Baharuth. The rival city, the rival kingdom. But this one is actually, it makes sense for Ains to approach the adventurous guy lah, because you have to understand kan, his main priority kan, main mission kan, is not to conquer the land. He can conquer anytime by force. What he wants to know kan is kalau other players existed now. So he wanted an expeditionary investigative force. They don't even have to fight well. They just need to report to him information. Basically, they're like those scouts lah for him. And who else better suited than adventurers? They know the lay of the land. They know all the trade secrets. They know the right people. So if they say, we heard that there's a guy in the north, his knowledge is incredible. He knows things that are lost knowledge. Maybe I will be interested in jumpa, see if he's a player. And this is his plan. This is practical, anything. Dia sanggup meet the guy leader, right, face to face and talk as equal, because in a sense kan, Ains at one time kan was an adventurer himself.
Yes, himself.
If he's level 1, he went to the guy, take missions. Even for the undead kan, I don't know what they do, but probably same thing lah.
Tapi kan, Ains, sorry, go ahead.
So he knows how to talk to these Gal master people lah. He has dealt with them in the games. So when he approached them kan, said, the kingdom kan have been using you as a mercenary force. I wanted to return you back to your original purpose. Adventurers should have adventures. They should discover new lands, find new people, find new whatever it is lah. And he played to that emotions. And evil or not kan, he knows his stuff. I don't think he's a master manipulator, but he knows how to move people to do things that they wanted to and make them think what they want to think. So it's genius lah. You know, you have a player approaching a guild master to make them do something that you wanted to do, which they are supposed to do. So ingenious.
Actually kan, I mean, you pointed this out early on masa kita reaksi tu, pasal macam mana orang, dia punya minions akan really kau-tau kat dia. Every time apa dia sebut pun, orang akan percaya. Because lagi tu benda yang nak lagi tambah lagi tu for me to nak reconcile is, adakah Satoru ni / Ainz ni betul-betul genius? Because yes, he is a planner, because he has survived all this while. He and his 41 compatriots to conquer the game and all that, and he knows his stuff, blah blah blah. Tapi yet setengah benda kan kita tengok, for me lah, saya nampak the machinations behind some of the actions banyak demiurgus buat tau. Betul, kadang-kadang bila Ainz dapat tahu, Ainz macam, ui, masa bila dia buat ni? Betul bila Ainz buat dia selalu macam buat engkau explain lah, bagi mereka tahu. Oh, thank you master, I will explain. Tu semua orang akan percaya. Oh, ternyata juga Ainz tu dia yang menyebabkan. So macam, you know, I think at one point I baca somewhere kata dia punya minion kata, oh, we have failed. Oh, tu Ainz cakap, the reason we have failed is because we cannot fail. Oh my god, that's so genius. Oh. So sampai begitu sekali. So at the same time, kadang-kadang risau tau, macam because Albedo, she's one person that up to now ada macam semakin suspicious. Because dia kan nampak macam very ditzy, peluk bantal semua. Tapi macam Demiurge, kita tak, for me lah, ni for me, I tak tahu where he's coming from. Whether he's very benign, very normal, very, dia ikut cakap. Tapi adakah dia mungkin nanti akan jadi, you know, bukan udang, I mean the gunting dalam lipatan blah 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 within Nazarick itself, but then again, hopefully, because they were all written program wise by the 41 members of Ainz Olgun punya guild, so they shouldn't disobey programming lah, hopefully lah, because thus far dah 4 season dia ikut je, dia tak dia macam, you know, dia ikut je. Okay, soalan 3
yang tu.
Nak tambah Tina?
Nak tambah.
Okay.
Ainz ni is not the guild leader.
No.
Oh, he wasn't kan? He wasn't kan?
Dia macam officer. So all inter guild punya interaction was by dia punya guild leader and the next echelon lah. But he is good at managing logistics. Faham tak? Dia punya long term planning dia tak nampak, tapi dia macam, okay, we need you to manage these things. Oh, so dia manage kat situ lah. That's why dia faham the guild punya layout, the guild punya tempat simpan barang and everything. So he's most likely treasurer ataupun quartermaster lah. So he understands logistics, he understands how to manage dia punya assets. That's why dia he knows who to send to do what. Tapi long term planning dia tak fikir sangat. And kalau dari segi betrayal tu aku tak rasa dia
I hope not lah, but that's just me thinking.
Because because it's dia macam ni, sebab the programming it become dia punya naluri tau. So it takes something at the level of a world item to change Shaltier. Itu pun Shaltier masih acknowledge him, but dia macam like dia punya naluri tu is like, I must remove this character. Itu yang dimasukkan.
I just wanted to mention something at category grade lah, pasal the guy cari duit for, you know, stuff. I think we already explained what the guild's purpose is to Ainz. I just wanted to reiterate kan, okay, the goal in this particular world kan is different from the goal that the Nazarick has bring from the Brazil punya original game now. You see, the goal in that particular world kan, they can use to purchase item, but cannot do specific item macam the original goal that they brought from the previous server. When Shaltier kena bunuh in season 1, they used gold and lots of it tau, macam 200 million pieces of gold to bring Shelter back up, because that's how much she's worth if you purchase it from the game store. That gold hilang. That's the gold yang they can revive the NPC yang mati from Nazarick. So the reason why they finding gold banyak kan is because they try to duplicate gold kan, to become macam the same qualities of dia punya original gold from dia punya original world tau. So okay, that's also possibly another reason why they approach the guild tau. Commercial reasons lah. We've seen throughout the season kan, Ainz buat macam some sort of inside joke, right? Shit, I'm always broke now. Tiba-tiba berapa shilling datang kan, apa sedih tau.
Yeah.
And Nabe was oblivious lah, belanja suka hati dia tau, suka hati. And that's why Nabe is considered closest to Ainz. Selalu kena hempuk kepala tau. We see dia kena luku. But she takes it as a sign of love lah. It's that bad, the loyalty of the NPCs. But that is the function of gold to Nazarick tau. It's not just the commercial use. It's because they need it just in case kind worst thing happens tau. Shelter is not the most expensive. I think albedo atau damage lagi expensive because of dia punya rank and function titles lah.
Yeah, and also kita tengok pun dia Urgus tu dia punya, actually kan, korang pernah dengar dia orang dub version tak? Because just out of interest to kau tengok Jepun, dia pronounce Demiurgus. Bila Asia Demiurge, Demiurge dia pronounce dekat in English. I don't know. I doesn't matter. I'm just interested to know. That's all. Because now Demiurgus tu, I'm like, aku macam I just like the sound of it. But anyway, kita ada soalan ketiga sebenarnya. So I'll let either of you answer or both of you if you want to answer. Anyway, ni dah macam kita akan go forward a bit dalam segmen ni. Apakah pendapat anda tentang sikap Putera Zanak yang dari Kingdom Reaksi yang agak matang? Walaupun kita tengok caricature Putera Zanak ni macam tak dia pakai, tapi he's actually quite shrewd. Agak matang dalam menangani pentadbiran kerajaan Reaksi sejak kehilangan kematian abangnya Putera Mahkota Babro. Dan apakah pandangan anda terhadap sikap Puteri Rena yang nampaknya ada kemungkinan menjadi tali barut kepada kerajaan Ainz Olgon? So who wants to go first?
The prince tu is very simple.
Yeah.
Sebab he saw power.
Yes.
And it's like, I'm not going to kacau that power.
Yes.
So I work within my limits lah. Itu je. He's very practical in a sense. Dia bukannya
very calculative.
If given the choice, he won't be doing this. He'll be more public and open in his ways. But dia tahu there is someone viewing him. So aku buat benda ni je lah, within my limits. The sister tu aku bagi Andri jawab lah kot. Dia waifu hantar.
Tapi dia waifu hantar yang milfu. Yang ini budak sekolah
shoujo.
Experience tapi dia punya hati dia lain
Ya, dia bila dulu aku tak tahu, dia tengok dia draw muka dia psycho. Anyway, Syaz, Andri, silakan.
Okay, the Princess Rena kan 100% kan is with the Ainz Olgon. I don't care if it's a big secret or a hidden secret. Nampak sangat she's in cahoots with Ainz Olgon. She is on good terms.
Bila? When did this start though? When did this start?
I think it starts in early season 2. At the end of season 1, they approach certain nobles in the kingdom. They mention now. Because they were trying to get as much information as they can. So they try to find out apa macam key people kan that could help them in the long run. And Rena was one of them. Rena is yandere. She is not happy being a princess.
Tak boleh pakai.
Dia nak bodyguard tu kan.
I want climb
him. But see, characters macam ni is the thing that pushes the Overlord punya target audience to older teens and above tau. Sebab they have a lot of this how do we put it not so art online style punya characters which is more menjana kepada orang yang lebih mature lah, 15 and above. So aku tak tahu rating kat sana dia put it higher or lower, but I rasa kalau karakter macam Albedo ni was in Malaysia in real life, aku rasa mampus dia.
The creators of Overlord share the same vision as the creator from Kakegurui tau. They know that crazy bitches, right, makes the best female characters in a story because it's interesting. I mean, we always complain about the crazy bitch that who ends up our ex-wife or ex-girlfriend. But we can talk a lot about them, but not about the woman that we love and like tau. So they understand the sick, twisted logic on making all these characters appear in the show. How many sick fucks have we seen in this show? Season 1 we have Clementine, we have Albedo, we have Sheltier. Cocytus has become the best waifu in season 4. Jadi kursi aircon dia.
Oh god, getik siap aku tengok part tu. I want to be your chair.
Rozo.
Trivia ya. So Seiyu kepada Cocytus is Seiyu kepada All Might. Miyake Kenta is All Might. All Might has gone down to be a bitch.
Dia jadi kursi.
Ai sama. Eat this.
Because hari tu Sheltier boleh jadi kursi, saya pun nak jadi kursi.
How funny was that?
Yeah.
They know we want to see crazy shit, crazy people, and they give it loads. Raina is crazy as shit, and we knew her on season 2, and she's consistently crazy, and she fits right. She fits 100% with Nazarick. It's an open secret that she's Ice Olgon's punya agent.
Yelah. Okay, I got one supplemental question lah. Sebenarnya ni pun actually it depended on the what we were talking about, since we are talking now dah masuk ke era segmen re-aesthesia in this aftermath. Ingat tak masa diorang buat that banquet when they got the useless nobles to hold a banquet so that and then Albedo turn up and then that guy called Philip nak pegang dia semua, and then at the end Albedo was like in disgust wanting to clean herself up, and then
she beat her, dia gigi sampai patah tau.
Wah, tu lah. Lepas tu the host, actually the guy is so useless, he didn't even host the banquet. It's this woman called Hilma. And she was tortured like crazy in one of the earlier seasons. I can't remember what the context was, but
season 2 she was 8 fingers mistress.
Yes. So she had 8 fingers.
Mare break her leg and then drag her where she got tortured.
Itu lagi satu. Mare tu muka budak kecil, dia buat benda tu. Anyway, so
is that Adventuring Guild punya survivor
Yes.
No.
They're still around. They're still around.
Yang masuk Nazarick ke bukan?
No. This is the remember the bit where this is the same bunch of bad people yang remember when they this was one of the most graphic scenes I've ever seen in I mean forget the blood splattered or whatever, but remember when the Sebastian start liking this girl
and they kidnap her, and this is the group,
there's the group kan, they basically they use all these poor girls, all this, and then dia jadi dilacurkan kepada all these nobles yang suka belasah them tau, sampai patah-patah riuk tulang dia, sampai mati. And they showed that scene on Crunchyroll ni, kadang-kadang tunjuk, kadang-kadang tak tunjuk. So I was like, "Oi, Crunchyroll, apa mimpi kau ini?" Aku boleh take kan nampak semua, tapi the fact that they showed a bad scene of somebody getting, I was like, "Whoa, okay." Anyway, so basically kan masa and then Albedo masuk balik kepada that scene, masuk ke bilik, and then she shut the door, and then we hear people talking. Do any of you know who she was talking to?
Okay. She was talking to Hilma punya inner circle. Hilma was, like I mentioned, part of the 8 fingers. So they had contacts throughout the Empire and the Kingdom tau. So basically the people who actually became the contact in the Kingdom kan have been doing her work through her and Albedo. You have to understand when Hilma was being tortured, right? She was tortured, died, and then brought back to life and then tortured again. Tak boleh mati tau. Yeah, I don't know what they torture her with, but I think in the light novel, I think they had that lipas guy makan apa dia punya badan sampai mulut, masuk every orifice mata dia, and then brought her back to life and do it same time until she pledged total allegiance. That's why kan when she came back from jumpa Ains kan, dia punya servants kan who were tortured with her brought apa macam honey water so to wash out the taste of cockroach from the mouth tau. Takut kena torture like that again.
I'm not reading the light novel.
They tortured a lot in detail in the light novel, which is why I don't read the light novel, because I like reading, I just don't like reading a lot, and there's a lot to read.
Yeah, because I had to find this out, like because I tried to figure out, and you're right, it's basically the 8 fingers or Hapon Yubi. Basically, they dah tahu lah to the Irons punya faction by the fact how they got butchered, lasah gila kan. So
yeah, because I read some sick shit. Dia kata when they tortured her, the insects started to eat her cheeks, and then and then take their time the tongue before going down into the lungs and whatever, and she was still alive.
Tapi itulah, I mean, just to end this segment, and anyway, like for example, they're doing things like menyeluduk barangan ke Erantel, like you say, dia dah bagi sokongan kat Adventures Guild, because in essence, like we know, Irons dia nak kalau boleh cari every single thing. Dia kan hoarder, and in fact dia nak cari benda to make his faction more powerful. But we'll get to that because obviously lepas ni kita akan get to this, well, in the 2 more segments that we'll talk about it. But anyway, sebelum kita akhiri segmen ni, we've got terima kasih Apits for your $6 question. So soalan dia, panelis Anri Kudo tunjuk baju pakai dengan full screen. Anri, kau pakai baju apa, Anri?
Pakai baju Adidas.
The trouble with girls.
Outdated shelter
baju yang tak pro-feminist lah basically, but I don't care.
Okay, oh god, pertama kali saya jadi exhibitionist. Mine is
Black Lagoon.
Baju ni daripada pembuat baju dari anime nama Cospa. Cospa is a Japanese apparel maker, and nak beli baju Cospa kena beli kat Jepun lah. So either you go to Japan or COVID ni beli kat internet lah. So yeah, baju Cospa about convert $30 lah duit kita. Tapi beli barang kat Jepun dia macam beli barang kat Uniqlo kat Malaysia. Dia punya size Asia. So orang badan solid macam saya ni kena beli XL ni pun ngam-ngam. Dia tak ada XXL. But anyway, thanks for the question and thanks for the $6 ni. So sekarang kita let me guys get rid of this. So I salute to you, Nick, for being able to juggle everything. Okay, so sekarang kita akan ke segmen
yang seterusnya.
So make sure I don't show something else.
Ada.
Ara-ara. So sekarang segmen kita yang seterusnya, which is segmen kedua, Slane, Theocracy dan Empayar Baharuth. So ini kita nak cover episod 3 dan 4 yang also still volume 10. Kalau kita tengok kat overlay ni, yang kat atas tu gambar-gambar top council Slane Theocracy, dan bawah tu gambar-gambar daripada Empayar Baharuth. Just nak bagi untuk penonton di rumah yang kurang arif tentang kuasa-kuasa besar di alam ini, Theocracy Slane atau Slane Theocracy merupakan sebuah kuasa besar terkuat di dunia baru ini, di mana pemerintahan negara ini berlandaskan agama dan berprinsipkan pro manusia. So dia tak suka elf, dia tak suka dwarf, tak suka cicak, tak suka apa. Dia nak manusia je. Dia pro manusia. So mereka juga menunjukkan penggunaan teknologi yang agak mengagumkan jika kita ingat di season pertama masa Ainz mula-mula bertembung dengan pasukan tentera sulit elite Sunlight Scripture di musim pertama dekat perkampungan Karni tu. So tu Slane Theocracy, and diorang ni kita nampak diorang sikit-sikit tau dalam past 3 seasons, tapi they are a force to be reckoned with. So kita kena tunggu. So Empayar Baharuth pula merupakan sebuah kuasa besar yang terletak di timur of the map, berhampiran dengan kubu makam Nazarik. Empayar ni diperintah oleh budak 22 tahun ni, Yighnif Rune Farlord Elnix, yang mengubah landscape politik Baharuth dengan melenyapkan kuasa golongan bangsawan termasuk ahli keluarganya sendiri. So berbanding dengan Reaksi, dia nak still maintain golongan bangsawan, nak keep the peace. This guy dia tak kasih chance, dia belasah semua, dia bunuh semua. So ni yang menyebabkan Maharaja Elnix ni mendapat gelaran The Bloody Emperor. So Empayar ni sering melakukan serangan terhadap Reaksi di padang pertempuran Cats yang kita tengok di episod 3 tu, tapi dia macam dia buat perang ni macam something in the calendar. Bulan 12 okay, jom perang, pang okay. Dia bukan nak pergi serang attack pun, tapi dia just nak make a point. Dia nak perang. So anyway, soalan pertama dalam segmen ni, okay, ni soalan ni macam it sounds long because I have to set it up. So ni kepada Andri. So selama 3 musim, Ainz digambarkan sebagai seorang pencatur utama. Personally, not really. He does, but he, sometimes dia pun tak tahu what's going on. Digambarkan sebagai pencatur utama segala kemenangan bagi Nazarik. Ainz pernah bertembung dengan pihak Slane Theocracy beberapa kali, directly seperti saya describe tadi, and indirectly, for example masa Sheltier Bloodfallen kena brainwash by the Black Scripture, and because the Black Scripture is actually from the Slane Theocracy. And tak boleh lupakan pula Clementine yang pernah mengganggutai Black Scripture sebelum beliau go rogue.
Clementine.
Yeah, she was part of the Black Scripture, she is. So, adakah anda merasa kuasa Slane Theocracy mungkin boleh setaraf dengan Ainz Olgun? Lebih-lebih lagi jika kita nampak beberapa clues yang mereka mungkin mempunyai ace up their sleeves untuk menangani Ainz in the future. So, silakan.
Okay, among the factions currently, I think the Slane Theocracy has the best chance to fight with Ainz Olgun, the Sorcerer Kingdom, not because they have the power equal to Ainz. That's not true. I think Ainz memang lagi kuat, dia punya faction lagi kuat daripada the Slane Theocracy. But the Slane Theocracy has been the oldest human power existed in that particular world. Even the Empire said right, it existed 1000 years before our empires even started to form tau. So they have like at least 1000 year head start to accumulate treasures, talents, magic, whatever it is lah. Yang when Sheltier got turned, right, because I think it was because of one of the Black Scriptures used an artifact tau. As a last resort, because they cannot defeat her. That's how strong she is. She's like I said, like an Elden Ring boss, and these people are like those turtles from Super Mario 1. So they cannot actually beat her. And when they turn her, she managed to kill them all before the magic started to turn her. So they do probably still has the methods, the item, but they don't know it. So that's why at this point they're having some sort of macam diplomatic relation with the Sorcerer Kingdom through the war with Jabal Dwarf, which we probably know or don't know is an instrument by Ainz tau. So they have the best chance to fight Ainz. I want to say that the Dragon Racers have a better chance of fighting Ainz. The Frost Dragons are not the Dragon Race. There's another kingdom of dragon kings on the land. We haven't seen them show their power yet, but they probably also have the power to counter Ainz, maybe, or at least become a challenge. And then the Elven Kingdom, we haven't seen it. Elven Kingdom, they're either destroyed or they're in hiding and hiding their strength.
Elven Kingdom belum. Kalau Elven. No, kalau kita nak kalau kita ikut apa yang dah publish dalam ni, we are hoping to see that in season 5.
Yeah. We've already seen the Dwarf. They have no chance to fight Ainz. So far, yang tunjuk Slane has the best chance to put up fight lah. I wouldn't say defeat, I say put up fight.
Yeah, because apa tau, I mean, this is my theory, Brazil theory, whatever lah, Slane theory, Madagascar. Pasal apa tau, macam banyak benda-benda yang, because kita tak mention selama dalam perbincangan ni, tapi kita tengok banyak rujukan dibuat by characters kepada peperangan 200 years ago with the gods. Ada greedy gods lah, ada bad gods lah. Because I just wonder, bila Ainz buat tunjuk dia punya power, dia buat dia punya ni kan, dia buat dia punya perang lawan bawa kambing semua, orang semua macam ni macam 200 tahun lepas. So does that mean 200 years ago players came to this world? So benda ni tak terjawab lagi tau. I cannot find the answer anywhere, but I'm just wondering if you guys are thinking about, and pasal game ni berapa puluh tahun je dia orang buat. So whether or not time flows differently in this dimension kan, dia kata 200 tahun, 1000 tahun or whatever. So I just wondered, and bearing in mind yang I get, because selama ni kan I was saying this past 3 seasons Ainz was never defeated, satu cala pun tak dekat badan dia. Tapi you have to bear in mind kan, kalau daripada references dia orang buat tu, there were, I can't remember, I think ingat ada satu bunch of adventurers yang semua perempuan tu, yang the girl yang pakai topeng tu nama Evil Eye, ada satu perempuan besar lah.
They were in that coach dengan the princess.
Because there was a reference to the 13 heroes that defeated so it just goes to show, because kita tak nampak lagi, Ainz tak boleh macam aku level 100. It might be those previous players. If there were players that arrived in this universe, they could be level 60 cabuk ke. Tapi kita pun tak tahu apakah prerequisite untuk muncul di dunia ni. Like just now one of you mentioned, is it because there's no written rule kata, okay, kalau kau bila game ni nak habis, kau tunggu pukul 12, then kau boleh pergi transported to another world. We do not know that. So it's quite interesting lah to see, because and because there were some funny characters in the opening credit. Itu lagi satu. I'm like, who the hell are these people? But I think I know who they are. We'll talk about them later. But that's my thoughts lah on this Slane Theocracy bunch. Syaz, ada apa-apa nak tambah pasal Slane?
Aku rasa kalau kita comparekan the Slane Theocracy ni kan, it is like kalau kita main game the first act punya boss. That means kalau katakan siapa yang main Final Fantasy 7, it is the boss of, sekarang ni kan dia dah buat remake semua kan. It is the first, is the boss of Midgar or whatever they call it, right at the end of remake part 1 Final Fantasy 7. That means there is a even bigger adventure in part 2, part 3, part 4 which kita tak nampak lagi. So that means Ainz akan conquer the big inner location that is within his world. Then most likely dia akan explore further, which is where the Guild of Adventurers that is setting up now.
I see.
The payoff akan datang in 1 or 2 seasons time, when after dia dah beat Slane Theocracy and whatever nonsense, probably gotten his first world item, because there's not going to be just one world item, there's going to be multiple world items. It's going to be all over the entire world, because kita cuma nampak like a small portion of the map. We don't know how big the world map is. Kalau jadi macam cerita gila macam Hunter x Hunter tu, where the entire world planet is sebenarnya the size of a daun dalam tasik, and that is the rest of the world after that. Macam like, aduh. So we don't know how long the story is going to be.
Yeah.
Kita compare dengan One
I
Piece
need to
pun.
watch Hunter actually. I've not watched it. I need to watch it. Jangan. Oh, musik hati
No, I mean,
Hunter is awesome, but
Tapi tak habis. Pasal dia tak habis.
it's on hiatus all the time.
I know, but he came back.
They
But
now
now dia nak complain dia sakit balik. Oh, letih lah nak
baru
sakit
kata
lah.
aku nak start balik. So like, but as
anyway.
it is, Hunter, kita menyimpang sikit, as it is, Hunter x Hunter has a very good point in the anime where macam like, kalau dia tak animate any further episodes pun dah okay lah. Tapi the manga dah continue. So, up to you lah kalau kau nak baca ke tak. But
tapi manga according ni whatever his name Hitachi, dia cakap dia kata dia sakit lagi, tapi dia kata now dah starting to struggle again to draw, despite he managed to do a lot. He did a lot. He did updates on Twitter every day. Itu yang mula-mula orang terkejut macam, oh, Hunter x Hunter is coming back. But
he has done a lot of hiatus sampai he cannot draw back as he used to. That's how long he's been out of the game.
Itulah, aku pun tak tahu. Kesian, but at the same time tak tahulah.
Tak apalah, if you want to watch the anime, it's worth it. You can stop at where the anime is ended right now.
And be happy with.
There's a good ending or pause in the story. But yang pentingnya, because we're talking about benda ni, Slane Theocracy is just the first major enemy they kena overcome. Because they will end up using another world item or two, my speculation. And that is when Ainz will realise that he needs to gather balik all of the world items before he can finally conquer the world.
Aku tak ingat world item yang dia pakai nak make Sheltier became the way that she did at the end of season 1 tu, is that a Yggdrasil world item? Faham tak?
Yeah.
Is that
the one
so Ainz recognize the fact that how the hell those people got that stuff? Where did they get it from?
Dia basically dia Sheltier punya immunity to control magic requires something at the level of a world item to erase, to bypass that magic punya level. That means kalau kau setakat level 100 punya magic pun tak boleh lepas.
Yes.
So you need to, and then kalau tak silap aku, dia orang punya world item is like one per world, per server on Yggdrasil. So that's why bila ingat tak masa dia orang pergi ke the Dwarf punya ni, they take out a super key tu, can only be used 7 times.
7 times.
That was
because if that's a world item kan, that one yang
Ainz punya tu once it's gone, it's gone.
Tapi tu lah, dia pun macam sayang nak pakai, tapi tak apalah, I'll use it.
So he'll probably use it until tinggal 2 and then simpan.
Anyway, so since you are now on the screen, ini soalan untuk Syaz, apakah pendapat anda apabila Maharaja Elnix dari Baharuth meminta bantuan dari Slane telah mendapati kesatria-kesatria Baharuth meletak jawatan secara en masse setelah menyaksikan dengan mata sendiri kuasa Ainz dan kambing-kambingnya di medan pertempuran Kats? Silakan.
Well, he's doing what a king should be doing lah, trying to make sure his kingdom survive. Tapi dia tak sedar diri. Dia ingat orang masih boleh lawan Ainz ni. But to be fair, he is betting on something he does not know. Quite something which he does not know. So antara dua orang ni, who is more likely to kill me? Ainz is more likely to kill me. So
of course.
Aku tak human lain kan. Human lain pun human. So like you know, aku boleh apa pasal elf dengan orcs dengan ogres and whatever. Aku nak human aku hidup je. He is all out for himself. Dia hebat, dia seorang je. Sampai dia punya soldiers pun banyak resign kan. That's what you say.
Itulah.
Soldiers, dia punya elite soldiers bye bye. Because they realize who they are fighting. And he is trying, and this emperor is of course doing his best lah. You know, hoping that the Theocracy has something hidden that can fight Ainz ni. Tapi member tu datang, show up, I am here. Terus kecil.
Actually, he's trying to save his hairline.
Yeah.
So
because ultimately, janji dia hidup and remain in power, he will do whatever. Tu je. He doesn't really care he ikut siapa sebenarnya.
Tapi kan,
Sebab kalau
sorry,
katakan
good.
the Slane managed to beat Ainz, dia akan cakap, oh thank you for saving me and my kingdom. I was under evil control magic. That's all. He knows how. Dia ni macam cacing tau, cacing. Dia akan macam ular cacing, dia akan move to tempat yang selirat to reach his goal. Banyak arah-arah.
Ada banyak tak? Tak apa arah-arah tu?
BuzzPopTV ni macam kenal lah. Kau kenal ke Kudo? BuzzPopTV ni siapa Dia banyak buat streaming
Wah. Dia orang kan yang copy kita punya overlay semua ni.
Malu tu.
Tak malu.
Dah lah tak cukup janggut. Cish.
Tak join.
Tak. Only sebab kita member je kita boleh kutuk macam tu. Dia punya arah-arah scene banyak yang tahu jangan. Oh, don't share that. Jangan share that one. Dia punya arah-arah banyak cerita je tapi tak banyak action.
Betul.
Paling teruk lah arah-arah scene dia. Ainz duduk on the girl.
Ya. Atau cium pipi albedo.
Oh my god. Character development tu.
Kena gigi dengan gusi. Aduh, albedo happy. Terus panggil Momon depan muka. Bye-bye Momon.
Terus menangis.
Betul.
Habis kenapa?
Jangan nangis. Peluk. Lagilah albedo tu.
Bukan ke scene yang paling ara-ara is the one when the lizard man having sex?
Ekor berbelit macam betul punya. Mengapalah diorang animate benda tu macam tu? Why? A1 Pictures. Madhouse. Why Madhouse? Why?
Sebab there is no rules that say they cannot show lizards getting babies.
Be about sex.
Ini video biologi.
Betul.
Anyway, so kita dah menyimpang. Terima kasih kepada BuzzPopTV kerana sekali lagi saya kena upkan BuzzPopTV banyak-banyak kerana sudi beri kami platform untuk hari ini. Since just ini pun kira macam short question sebenarnya. Either of you can answer. Apa pandangan anda apabila Ainz muncul tanpa diundang di Colosseum Arwinta, ibu kota Baharuth? Apakah pendapat anda tentang tiba-tibanya Maharaja Elnik sanggup tunduk offerkan Baharuth menjadi vassal state kepada kerajaan Ainz Olgun? Anyone? Or Shaz, or you want to go ahead?
Yang second question tu sebenarnya kita dah terjawab tadi.
Yelah.
Dia nak bow down. Janji aku selamat, janji aku king, emperor.
Tapi that was like an afterthought, right? I think he was like, okay lah, tak apalah, okay lah, betul lah. Dia kuat, dia terror. Ambil lah.
Tak, sebab that one simple.
Yeah.
The strongest warrior in his kingdom, dia ada, apa nama dia? Lord of...
yang overlay tu.
Iron Lord.
Dia
ada title.
Aku tak ingat, but I know who you mean. Yeah. Siapa
basically yang dalam gambar tu lah. So Mama tu kena handle macam tu je.
Yes.
So instead of acting with somebody who datang-datang pun takut-takut, ngerup-rup, kita nak buat apa ni? Member datang, rise up from the dead. Welcome back bro. Kau nak bet dengan siapa? dia panic like, aku ikut kau lah. He has completely shown his power. That's why dia terus jadi like, aku jadi puppet king pun tak apalah. Just let me be. So in terms of dia punya decision untuk datang unannounced and prove his power, that is one of the rare moments where his actual planning was very well done. Sebab kita tahu sorry?
Tak apa, go ahead. You
so based on my understanding lah, that dia logistik bagus. So he boleh manage orang macam ni, tolong carikan mamat tu, find this one, who is the strongest this one. He is good at that. So that's what he did. And he said, I need to make an impact to let the whole world know, ni rancangan aku. So he does it in a public martial law. Okay, masih for the clarification. By beating the martial law in the public, lepas tu announce, and bukan saja kalahkan tau. Dia tak guna magic tau.
Ya. Dia tak pasang pun.
Dia guna equipment je. You see, nampak tak? I am so strong that I have equipment that let me fight your strongest fighter without using any real magic.
And bearing in mind, Irons as a character in this game, he's a magic caster. He's not supposed to even angkat a pedang, and yet he can do this, kan? Macam bayangkan kalau dia guna whatever lah. Ping.
So orang nampak dia dah terbang masuk.
Yeah.
So they know he's a magician, and he has already let everybody know I'm king of darkness or whatever. I'm a magic user. Aku datang pakai tongkat, bro. Lawan kau punya greatest fighter. And then when dia bagi martial law hidup balik, and he promote, join my guild, I will give you all the support of equipment that you need. He has already shown the equipment he is using. That's why he can. That's why it's a brilliant move.
Yeah.
I'm not just advertising. Mari datang. Ini yang saya akan bagi korang pakai ni. Magic weapon macam ni. That's why he's also allying dengan the dwarfs.
Yeah.
He needs to start making more weapons and all that.
Actually, in my opinion, right, I think it was a chance move lah that he did this brilliant thing lah. It comes by as a coincidence tau. He was talking to the guildmaster. Before that, dia jumpa dengan Fruder kan. You remember how he showed him the book kan?
The book of the dead.
Book of the dead. Ia kan tak dia baca, rupanya Fruder boleh baca because of this one equipment apa yang Irons kasih lah. So Irons kan katakan, I better keep this thing from this guy because kalau dia pada saya apa, it's going to be a problem lah. So he said, you can read it later when you dah baca hafal apa the language, some sort of bullshit reasoning lah, which is actually a lot of sense. But one of the main reasons kan why he went there kan, is to get his army of adventurers to come and work for him tau. Like you mentioned in the previous question. Not only he promised wealth, equipment, success, he literally said kan, I can give you power kan from the dead tau. You mampus, I will raise you up. Siapa? That's actually a very big incentive now. Adventurers are not strangers to life and death situation now. And if you die, but you're useful or have value to Irons, it's not the end of you. You will probably be raised back. You don't even have to lose level macam most resurrection spells. He has done it dekat that martial law guy, the Troll King. So you see, he's trying to prove something. Then you work for me, kan? Nothing will be lacking.
Yeah. Because I agree with you as well. Because I think him chancing upon Elnix in cahoots with Slane was a coincidence. Because dia datang because dia dah bawa the guild master from Erantel. Yang kan dia kata, are you sure we can do this? Tak lalu custom pun aku pakai power. And then dia jumpa mamat yang ada pedang banyak-banyak tu kan, the guy with the 2 dots on the eyes. And when which I guess will be a good thing to mention, because that's pretty much going to bring us to the next segment. Tapi I think just for one more soalan daripada penonton, let me bring it to the one that I just marked. This is slightly menyimpang, just to break the monotony. Okay, soalan daripada Apit sekali lagi. So, para panelis, musim mana, episod mana yang disukai termasuk musim sekarang dan kenapa? Let's just use this season lah. Kalau tidak, kita berborak lagi sejam. So, Andri, what recommendations have you got from the current summer season of 2022?
What, for Overlord or for any anime?
Anime in general. Licorice!
I know you want to say Licorice Recall because of obvious reasons lah, but
Hey, it's a good show.
it's a good show, yeah, but it has a lot of issues.
Yalah, but the issue tu orang punya pasal lah.
We can talk about issues apa in the next segment, in the next episode, because banyak benda cakap. But my favorite anime right now kan, I tell you honestly kan, there's nothing really hard hitting of this summer tau. Tak ada yang bagus tau. If I want to watch something pandai serious, I watch Class of the Elite. But even so, tak ada that stellar episode. The closest thing aku tengok yang betul-betul aku enjoy kata, oh this is pretty badass, was Danmachi when the hero lawan dengan that green monster and kill him. I don't know if you watch Danmachi lah for this season.
I'm aware of Danmachi lah. Aku tahu Hestia siapa. Itu je.
Yes. Short girl, big titties.
I knew you going to mention that. Aku sebut nama. Anyway, Shaz, are you watching anything this season?
It was a series that aku complete 50 episodes in about 3-4 hari kot. It was called Ahiru no Sora. It is a basketball punya show. It's a very short guy. And then dia punya basketball team dia banyak delinquents.
Why is it familiar? Is it baru punya anime atau is it a sequel?
I think, let me check. Dia punya score dia 7.28 lah on my anime list. Dia come out in fall 2019.
Oh, it's
lama dah
punya lah. So you're watching something this. Okay, faham. So best
I mean,
I
don't know. I mean,
nama English dia apa? Dia ada nama English tak?
Sebab Sora tu nama dia ke?
Oh, bukan Sora langit.
Aku just share screen lah, just tunjukkan.
Tak apa. Saya tak. Itulah, sementara Syaz tengah nak share screen, bagi saya sama season, tapi walaupun nama dia sama, tapi dia bukan sama season, dia actually core 2. Pasal dia tak habis summertime rendering. Untuk saya, ini orang di barat, orang kata anime ni tak ada hype, orang tak sebut pun apa, because pasal apa? Pasal di barat orang tak dapat tengok, because masalahnya Disney dia ambil lesen nak tunjuk anime ni, tapi Disney Plus ni dia nak kata tak reti kan, kata kita ni palatau. Because orang selalu ambil anime punya license, cara orang fans nak tengok every week. Itu boleh borak-borak, next week apa lah semua kan. So macam for example, masa dia orang buat Jojo Part 6 kat Netflix. Oh, by the way, Jojo next the other 12 is coming next week or something. In the episode 13 until 26, whatever the hell. Yang Julian on Netflix. So
I can binge everything.
Yeah, personally I don't mind binging because Jojo lama I tengok, I binge anyway. Tapi I get it because memang seronok bila tengok satu episod seminggu. Setengah orang tengoklah, ada setengah orang tak suka, tapi macam bila dia orang buat macam tu, bila streaming platform macam yang bukan Funimation, yang bukan iQIYI ke apa, bila jenis tak simulcast, dia buat macam apa tau, because depending on the lesson, dia kata kita orang tunjuk 3 minggu selepas Jepun, macam kami kan communicate ke Netflix. Kami kat sini tak boleh tengok simultaneously. I had to go pasang VPN Jepun, and hari tu kan for some reason dapat English subtitles, and then tapi lain hari tak dapat. So nak tengok up to date kena pakai VPN. So when Disney has the license, diorang decide sendiri macam, okay, kami dah ada license untuk summertime render. Japan kami tunjuk macam biasa. Apparently dekat Malaysia, Singapore semua dapat, tapi a few weeks late or a couple of days. I might be wrong. So siapa kat chat tengok summertime rendering, please correct me kalau saya salah. Tapi you all dapat tengok. So untuk you all macam tak heran pun. Tapi cerita ni untuk I'm not good with jump scares, tapi cerita ni quite violent lah. Dia pasal apa tau? Pasal cerita ni, mana nak cakap kalau violence macam cerita Overlord ni, kita faham lah bawa pedang semua, takkanlah bila kena potong tak berdarah kan. Tapi ini tiba-tiba pisau dapur kat tengkuk. Darah memancut-mancut. So you go like, woi, where did this come from? But the story is brilliant. It's a mystery story. Ada orang kata dia bau-bau ReZero sikit because dia dia loop. Lepas mati dia go back in time. Lepas go back in time. Saya tak tengok ReZero, so I wouldn't know. But
ReZero
dia macam tu. Dia a bit of that. But this is set
okay.
in the normal world. Dunia Jepun sekarang is in a small island Japan. It's really well done as well. The animation is fantastic. The story is cracking lah. I stopped in between because I wanted to like tunggulah dulu. I want to watch something else first because rasa macam because people are saying now dah episode 20 and orang cakap something gempak happening, so I probably just start catching up again lah. I have to watch it via other means lah. So sorry, so Shaz, you were trying to continue about something tadi.
I dah share tadi ke dia tak jadi?
Oh, because I was talking. Oh, you share tadi?
Yeah.
Nak share balik ke?
Oh sorry, I duk cakap I tak nampak. Tapi takut kan gambar you kecil kan?
Oh,
itu je lah.
I just share balik lah.
Sekejap, if you don't mind.
Now and this one.
I tak berubah langsung. Oh, tu dia. Oh, memang cakap Jepun terus. Tapi my animalist Mel dia suka tulis Japanese. Dia kalau boleh dia tulis the Japanese name and not the English. Tapi tak apalah. I can't see the let me just get rid of the overlay. Ahiru no Sora. Oh.
Yep. I don't know, I just like basketball punya ini. Itu je.
Cool. Nice. Okay, so kita dah jawab soalan dari rumah. Sekarang
I just want to add one thing.
Yeah.
Just now you mentioned Jojo 6 going next start next week, right?
Soonish, very soon.
The reason why I'm not that excited, even though I'm a hardcore Jojo fan, is because Netflix can kill Jojo Friday for me. Every time one Jojo episode comes out, the fans can make fun, make memes, and discuss, and we poke fun, we torment each other. Oh, maybe this guy's gonna die, maybe he's gonna use his the punya powers like this way. Now we don't have that luxury anymore because we can binge and watch from start to finish and no suspense. If you compare JoJo 4 and JoJo 5, right? JoJo 4 is actually, I enjoyed JoJo 4 more than JoJo 5, but I enjoyed JoJo 5 because there was at least content for us to discuss every week.
Exactly. That's my point. Why we want it simulcasted weekly and not like one whole bunch.
If it's a good episode, we can talk about it. If we have a bad episode, we can bitch about it. That's what being a fan is all about.
Itulah. Anyway, so sekarang kita akan ke segmen yang seterusnya, Dwarf Kingdom dan Frost Dragon.
Ada.
Yes. Ara. Anyway, silap. Saya nak tunjuk something else. Just ni iklan tak berbayar. Sebelum kita memulakan segmen ni, perbincangan seperti dilakukan di segmen-segmen awal sesi ni, selain dari media cetak dan video, Overlord juga mempunyai collectibles atau mainan, bak kata Boss Nick. Apa geleng kepada Syaz? I see you. You like mainan as well. I know you. Anyway,
aku tak kumpul benda ni.
Tak. It will be very short. Anyway, so Overlord juga mempunyai mainan buatan berbagai manufacturer terkemuka seperti Kotobukiya dan Alter dengan seleksi yang memenuhi cita rasa dan poket para kolektor. So for figurine PVC dari Overlord kebanyakannya albedo for obvious reasons. So dari price figure title kat bawah tu yang pakai bikini tu, itu price figure pada yang tak arif adalah figure yang boleh kita menang dekat crane game yang sekali main 100 yen. So kalau nasib baik 100 yen dah dapat. Nasib tak baik 10,000 yen baru dapat. So terpulang lah macam mana nak mainkan game ni. Tapi nak beli pun boleh. Tapi up to the one yang tengah tu, albedo tu $2,000 made by Furyu because dia pakai kimono. So figurine-figurine macam ni kepada yang berminat boleh didapati sendiri daripada kedai atas talian dari Jepun, atau boleh try Shopee atau Carousel di Malaysia, atau mana-mana kedai hobi di Malaysia. Yang some of this kedai hobi pun diorang menawarkan perkhidmatan belian secara proxy. So kadang-kadang benda tu tak ada stok kat Malaysia. Kalau rasa nak belanja RM10,000 Malaysia nak beli Abedo, minta dia orang belikan. Tapi ingat, beli yang original. Okay.
Mainlah Gundam RM100.
Sama lah,
beribu-ribu
juga kan. Those bigger Gundams mahal kan? Pasti.
Tak, yang
perfect grade. Kalau perfect grade cuma 500, mesti RM500.
benda macam ni 100 lebih je. Janganlah beli yang saiz besar. Saiz besar memanglah.
Anyway, dah menyimpang ke Gundam. So dalam segmen ni, Dwarf Kingdom dan Frost Dragons daripada episod 5 dan 7. So kita mulakan dengan I'm gonna pick you, Andri. Setelah tahu kewujudan runecraft, salah satu seni kesaktian tradisi yang dihasilkan dari tukang-tukang pembuat dari Dwarf Kingdom, tatkala berada di Arwinter seperti kita discuss tadi, Ainz memulakan perjalanan ke Dwarf Kingdom di pergunungan Azerlisia. Apa pandangan anda dengan keputusan Ainz ingin mendapatkan teknologi yang makin pupus ini? Silakan.
He's not actually interested with the runesmith knowledge because it's a dying art. He's interested because the runesmith knowledge is the same as the one in the old game. So he wanted to see dia punya relevance whether he can use it and whether he can lead it to other players basically. Also it doesn't hurt that it would strengthen dia punya faction in terms of military power when it comes to battling with the Slane Theocracy in the future if it happens So like I said, it's practical, and this is just a practical behavior. I want to know about this runesmith and control the knowledge because it's going to be important for me down the line whether I like it or not.
Because what I've read is that ini lagi satu macam orang cakap clue to how kemungkinan dunia luar, macam how people like Ainz datang dari Earth and the dimension, because sebelum ni the magics, when you spell it MAGICKS I guess, macam those that were imbued into weapons, macam the runes that kan pakai tukang magic, bila ada rune tu MP you naik lah dalam pedang you. Tapi because sejak the past 200 years when these funny gods turned up, they started to learn tier magic. Like how you said, mana ada dalam dunia dia menggunakan magic tier 11.5 ke apa kan. It sounds very game-like. So it does feel like probably in the past there had been human beings, players coming in, introducing this new stuff. But I guess like you say lah, and at the same time, he just wants everything lah to be collected, I guess.
Yeah, he heard tales that the dwarf punya rune technology, right? At dia punya height someone taught the dwarfs how to infuse 5 runes into one weapon now. When Ainz took out dia punya own collection pedang tu there were 20 runes
Yeah.
So can you imagine the blacksmith for Ainz punya guild that crafted the weapon for him possibly like macam Ainz level 100. Maybe the blacksmith is like level 90. The one who taught the dwarfs the punya rune knowledge probably like level 20 limited knowledge. Yeah. So he at least even if it's like low level, he wanted to make sure so there is someone from the other world who came and teach them. So I want to know what they know. So you know, but it makes sense for him to be invested in this rune knowledge whether it's for traditional knowledge preservation or selfish interest
And also there's a bit of the usual is this the Ainz character or is this the player Ainz, the bit where he wants a utopia, where he wants to preserve as you say, macam if you can see the other dwarves macam tak peduli sangat pun kau nak ambil lah.
This is I'm pretty sure at this point it was just the player Ainz that's talking. He's talking because he knows how to when it comes to macam this NPC cakap dengan NPC kan, he knows when he's in his play mode kan, he knows how to manipulate their feelings tau, the emotions. This is Iron's emotion player apa mode on.
Anyway, so Syaz, enemies atau seteru kepada kaum dwarf di pegunungan Azalisia terdiri daripada spesies Quagua yang bermastautin di ibu kota lama Dwarf Kingdom yang bernama Theocracy, yang at the same city juga ada sekumpulan Frost Dragon. So apa pendapat panelis apa pendapat anda tentang kaedah Ains yang nampak agak melampau dalam menundukkan kaum spesies Quagua? You can see the middle picture in overlay. Basically Shelter just pusing je pedang dia, yang berdarah-darah, patong kepala, kantong kaki semua terbang pancut. Silakan.
Unfortunately, this is a world where might is right.
Yeah.
So because of that, dia how do we put it? By killing off the people, the Quagua ni, and leaving the leader alive, it makes a statement that kau hebat macam mana pun kau tak boleh selamatkan orang kau. So this will do two things. One, of course, dia akan takut lah, that our leader made such a big sacrifice, and yet he's still willing to serve under the Lord, under the new Overlord, means that this Overlord must be really insanely strong. Okay, very sangat kuat. And kedua, secara tak langsung, by leaving these people alive, but with a small force, there will be a generational motivation. We need to work hard so that kita boleh kalahkan Overlord ni. So secara tak langsung, the community will grow and thrive, and they will work very hard, the remaining survivors ni. But because it will take generations untuk kalahkan Ains ni, they might not even achieve the goal. So secara tak langsung, because it becomes after several generations, macam like dia orang dah biasa living under the Overlord. And cerita-cerita dendam kita with the Great Massacre, Lambau semua ni pun orang dah, benda tu dah berlalu. Kita nak buat macam mana? Kita dah under their rule for so long, we don't have the fire to fight them anymore. But during that time, during the first 1 to 2 generations after this massacre ni, they'll be working hard to make sure we are the strongest people. Kita kena latih how to fight, because one day our Overlord akan slip up, dia akan buat silap, masa tu kita terajang dia. Tapi kalau tak ada opportunity to do that, they cannot fight their way to freedom. Dia tak boleh dapat lah dia.
Itulah, I think I agree with you lah. The concept of the might is right, and also the fact that when people like myself tengok segala scenario dengan kacamata orang moden kan, where perasaan kesian semua ada, you just go in disbelief. Apa sebab dia orang buat macam ni? Tapi yalah, yang cerita Game of Thrones, biasalah macam tu lah cara zaman dulu hidup. Kalau kau mati,
exactly,
kan? Tapi agaknya in my defense is because Ains tu sebenarnya a modern human being inside, but I mean we don't want to go in circles. We have discussed it before that he's already in his character and blah blah blah. But yeah, that's how it is, I guess. So just in the same breath as well, so this is the third question. Again, both of you can answer. You can start first, Charles, if you wish. So begitu juga dengan Frost Dragons, pertemuan Ains dengan keluarga naga ni menampakkan Ains tak belengah untuk menunjukkan superiority beliau. Dengan apa pandangan anda dengan betapa senangnya dia dapat menundukkan Frost Dragons ni, sehingga kan mereka dilihat sebagai kelompok naga yang agak every dragon for itself. Cuma macam nak saving their own skin selepas tengok boss dia kena grasp hard kan. Dan jika dibanding, itu I guess one part of the question. The next part of the question, I guess you probably did cover it as well as an answer. Dan jika dibandingkan di antara spesies Quagua dengan Frost Dragons, adakah Ains sepatutnya risau in the future jika satu di antara dua atau even kedua-dua spesies akan bangun untuk menentang Ainz di satu masa nanti. So silakan.
Okay. The first question aku nak jawab.
Ya.
The reason why they take a different approach with the Frost Dragon is because the Kuagua ni dia familiar tau. They have a lot of manpower and that is their strength. So by taking away a huge portion of dia punya rakyat, that is how you hit the leadership. That's how you tumbangkan the army. When you have no more army behind you, the leader has no choice but to bow down or he will die. But dia punya strength is in numbers. So when the numbers dah tak ada, habis lah. So kenapa dia straight kepada the dragon punya patriarch kat sini? I mean partly because the dragons, the patriarch is the strongest lah in general. But it is called cutting off the head of an army. Because kenapa dia tak buat with this one is because he wants the manpower.
Yes.
Dia nak some people to be enslaved or to be under his rule later on. So he only remove the strongest fighters. Tinggal all the orang yang tak boleh nak lawan lah. So you dapat lah, a slave nation. Ini pula, by killing off the head, it demoralizes all of them. And because their number sikit, kita of the extreme belief, kita ni sikit tapi kita elite. We are very strong, small but stronger than 100,000 Kuagua. So when they have that mindset, when you kill the strongest of them all, alamak, kita punya strongest dah mati macam tu je, siap mamba macam ni je. I think we cannot fight this guy kot.
Dah lah dia bapak kepada dragon pakai spek tu, tapi agaknya dragon tu macam indifferent.
Not just that, he is the father, the patriarch, the father to a lot of the younger dragons also.
I guess he
macam
ayah
the nerd of the family.
Ya.
Kalau kita orang banyak budak orang yang family yang normal-ish, tiba-tiba adalah time teenager tu, saya budak emo, saya kena pakai hitam. I don't know why there is a trend in the US, but somehow a lot of the teenagers kat sana go to that phase. I don't know why.
Tapi itulah.
But that's why deploy different tactics tau. For this one is an elite faction, yang ni is a might might in numbers, strength in numbers, sorry. So that's why the strategy berbeza, and it turns out it's the right strategy lah for both of the factions ni.
So anyway, Andri?
I have a slightly different angle than Shazli. Okay, the Kuagua kan, and the Frost Dragon kan, the Ainz punya approach is different tau. Okay, Kuagua kan, he wanted the Kuagua not because they were vital to his plan, but he was curious about the Kuagua. They were kobolds. He has never seen them in that world yet. So he will try to conquer them. And memang he would prefer them to join him. Tapi if they were stubborn and until the end tak nak join, he probably will wipe them out. Doesn't matter if it's apa 1000 tinggal apa. If they don't pledge allegiance, he will kill them out to the last guy. They were just something that he knows are there now. It'll be good if he can have them, but it's not a big loss kalau everyone dies. What he was interested is the Frost Dragons and the Vault of the Dwarfs. Yang ada the dragon apa hot lah. Dragons they always like to macam smog. They need a pile of gold to sleep and shit on for some reason now. Okay. The Kuagua, I wasn't that interested in them because they didn't pose much of a threat. I mean, compared to the dwarves kan, they're possibly a little bit stronger pound for pound lah. But the dragon was much more interesting. We see a dragon piss himself in an anime, which is basically one of the things I appreciate, even though it's unnecessary. The apa nama that dragon, Jibrahim, something like that. What's his name?
Yang mana? Yang which one?
Cerita tu, yang gemuk tu, yang dia kata chunky tu. Yeah.
But I know what you mean lah.
Yeah, it was interesting to see the dynamics of a dragon, because usually you see in Western culture, you see dragon as a soul creature.
Yes.
Except for Reign of Fire, where there's a big dragon male and the rest are smaller dragon female yang dimakan dan conquered. This one was interesting because we see a alpha dragon with 3 wives. Who the task kan was basically, we found out that was the 3 wives was the mother for all the dragons sana. Ada yang lay egg, ada yang warm the egg and nurse them, whatever it is lah.
Tapi kan masa Ain sebut benda tu kan, rasa macam Ain perli. Oh, ni mak engkau yang, kau bayangkan suara Piramli lah. Oh, ni mak engkau yang berlahirkan kau, ni mak engkau yang menyusukan kau, ni mak engkau yang selimutkan kau
Yes.
Tapi mak dia.
Aku mak dia. Ayo mak dia.
It was funny. This is a dark comedy. People keep forgetting that Overlord, it's very cool, very awesome. No, he's just funny. It's just dark comedy. Everything is dark comedy.
I know. But it's funny lah.
It's very funny. The way that I subjugate the first dragon kan is very practical now. He knows he wants to kill the alpha dragon. He knows he has to kill the alpha dragon. But he went there kan with the intention kan to kill as much dragon as he can now. He said he wanted dragon parts.
Yeah. Then what stick?
Yeah, so when other dragons kan tak lawan kan, except for that one dragon yang cabar dia kan, because he's probably the second strongest.
Yelah, dia nak tunjuk kuasa lah.
Yeah.
Alpha kedua.
He wanted to kill 2 out of the 3 wife dragons. Tapi because the dragon yang surrender tu kan, yang kencing tu apa, kata, they were my mothers kan, I give you my word, I wouldn't kill your mother, so okay, memang 3 ni saya tak kebunuh. He was partly disappointed if you
sedih
sedih.
Tu lah.
Yeah. This is the evil eyes.
Aku nak pakai buat tu lah.
Yeah, but he's there was evil eyes talking out, but he was, despite evil kan, he was a man of his word, so he's not that evil, he's just practical. When that dragon cabar dia kan, he was like, oh yeah baby, someone fight, crash hard, mati. Nada apa, ambil. Will there be anyone else? He has that Gaveltron move masa dia bunuh Starscream. Is there anyone else?
Apa Syah dia punya word sebelum dia masa dia landing tu, I find coronation Starscream. Apa?
This is bad comedy.
This is bad comedy.
This is bad comedy.
Yeah, betul. And I don't think Einstein is concerned kan about a Quagga rebellion or a Frost Dragon rebellion, because I think the most likely to rebel is the Quagga, but they wouldn't rebel. Because even if they rebel kan, what can they do? They can even beat yang dia punya fodder army yang skeletons. I'm pretty sure they cannot defeat that. And the dragons kan, I'm pretty sure they're going to stay loyal to Ainz because they know shit, there's like 12 of us and he just killed 2 in under 1 minute. This is not good math. Plus Ainz ada dragon in his army already, because remember in season 3 Aura and Mare went to the Baharuth kingdom with dragon on the back. Cuma tak boleh pick up.
Tapi just making a little comment to category degree ni, Ainz takut Quagga sebab bunuh 2. Untuk my answer to this is because Ainz tak ada kat situ. Because kalau dia tahu macam mana dia mati, the dragon, the undead army tu mati katak je, because agaknya dia hidup lagi kot bawah tu. Because mungkin dia orang tak boleh mati kan. Mati
because of gravity.
Yalah, tapi katalah dia landing, pasal dia dah mati in the first place, patah apa pun dia hidup lagi. Macam mana aku nak naik
he felt them get destroyed.
He felt
that but he didn't see. But he didn't see how, because it's just the fact dia jatuh bridge. Bukan je because Quagga boleh terror gigit tengkuk ke apa in the
particular. But itulah, that's the thing. You see, that cautiousness is what makes him a good player. He demonstrate masa dia lawan dengan Shaltier dalam season 1 dulu. It's like kalau kau nak main lawan PVP, kau kena mask your hit points berapa, mana point berapa, kau kena buat macam kau ni tak ada apa benda. So that is all part of him as a player. It's like something is not right here, so dia akan investigate and dia akan assume how did these people manage to beat this. So bila tengok, alah, kau tak boleh nak even push Shaltier 1 inch pun. Oh, I see. So that means you did some trick lah bagi dia jatuh ke ni. Sebab when they saw the bridge was gone, dia macam like, alah, jatuh jambatan juga, aku panik buat apa kan. Because he really thought the Kuagua single-handedly or whatever took down.
Exactly. Yep.
So when he saw the bridge was gone, like,
Exactly. Itulah. Anyway, so since kita dah nak sampai, I think tak ada lagi soalan yang actually ada satu soalan semi menyimpang. Bukan tak menyimpang sangat lah, tapi again, because since that has the question dah buat kita korang pernah dengar this movie tak? Isekai Quartet. I wanted to watch it. It's like little chibi characters. Ada Albedo, ada Konosuba, ada I want to watch but I never got around to it.
Tanya ada Evil, Konosuba, ReZero.
Aku pernah tengok lah, bukan the movie, macam an anime.
Yes.
Macam anime comedy series. I didn't know there was a movie. Dia macam like hero from all the isekai people all in one anime.
Yes.
And then dia ada TV series tak?
Ada. 2 seasons.
Is it like pendek-pendek like 5 minit punya season, snippets, or proper 20 minutes punya episode?
Proper 20 minutes.
Because kadang-kadang there are some anime yang pendek-pendek kan, 13 minit.
Play this. Yeah, I know.
I see. And then ada lagi satu question daripada Apits again. Selain Overlord atau Tensura, Tensura is shield hero kan? Yeah.
No.
Damachi Dungeon, Tensura is shield hero. Rai selalu shield hero. Para panelis boleh recommend anime atau manga di mana genre isekai dan world building yang ada similar tak? Because at the moment personally saya tak tengok isekai sangat. In fact, this is my first proper isekai. If Konosuba for me is a parody. It's an isekai but it's a parody of an isekai. But go ahead guys.
Apis bin Senin, I'm going to cakap satu benda kan. Isekai kan secara general kan, they have very shallow character and world building. Most of the time kan the main hero kan is overpowered, Marisu, OP.
Tensura is slime.
Slime,
Gomen,
yeah.
Uncle tak tahu.
Still same. Tensura slime kan. You tengok apa the slime character kan. The asexual character kan, he's overpowered. Yeah. But if you want to watch a decent isekai series kan, Grimgar, Ashes to something. Can you check apa nama penuh betulnya? Grimgar. I think it's a very serious, very.
I like to check, but when I do that, the computer will mess up. So I will use my. Go ahead, sama.
It's Grimgar lah. You just check apa Grimgar anime, and then you'll see it. It's a isekai. The characters there.
Kaito Genso no Grimgar.
English right?
Grimgar of Fantasy and Ash.
That's one.
I know.
It's very.
No Grimgar.
It's a very serious anime. It's going to show you the pros and cons of living in the isekai world. It's not roses. There's real challenges. Isekai Jisan, okay. Tapi itu reverse isekai. He was
tapi itu comedy. Dia comedy kan serius?
Comedy, definitely comedy.
Yeah. Dia punya muka macam ugly bastard yang jenis muka-muka yang kalau jadi pervert, jadi dalam manga-manga yang kurang bagus untuk
kalau saya sakit dehydration kan, cirit-birit kan selama 2 minggu kan, tu lampu saya. Isekai Jisan. That's one.
That's funny one. Shaz, did you answer the question or do you have any recommendations or you don't?
I don't. Isekai I tak tengok banyak. The one that I
The
watched, I remember was ReZero season 1. Tapi ReZero ni, dia banyak macam mana? It's a depressing show because the character is a loser.
Tapi biasalah orang cakap tak apa, kau tengok lagi because aku dah anime ni banyak sangat. Yeah, it gets better by chapter 77. No thank you.
Yes.
I mean, I guess if you are invested in it, go ahead lah. But
okay, ReZero is the story of a guy who will keep, kalau dia mati dia akan respawn,
reset kan?
Reset to a past time. So dia kena fulfill certain things, then he can move on to a next checkpoint. Tapi yang orang ingat pasal ReZero ni is because it is the masa dia keluar tu lah, masa it was on the weekly basis kan, because everybody was supporting one of the characters, nama dia Ram, R-E-M. But the hero suka the main heroine
Emilia.
apa nama nama pun tak ingat.
I love Emilia.
So it exploded because of that tau, not because it was
because of the story.
Because it was the love triangle of Ram suka hero suka Emilia dengan Ram ni okay lah, macam tu je lah. But it's how a loser try to come to terms with the fact that dia dah masuk isekai and he has no real power. Bukan macam cerita-cerita lain ni kan, Overlord, I'm the king of darkness, shield hero, ada shield, a lot of shield of power and all that. Dia ni loser tu. Kalau you jenis yang tak suka karakter yang orang loser ni, you akan menyampah tengok cerita tu. But
he's not a loser because he doesn't have power. He's a loser because he doesn't man up.
Yeah.
Benar cerita. He's trying to become the good guy all the time.
Yeah. I've not watched it. Kalau Subaru became a better person, so in a way that's his character development lah. So that's the payoff lah at the end of it. Tapi sementara nak tunggu dia daripada, unlike this ini bukan isekai, ini anime ni saya suka. Nama dia Kanojo Okarishimasu atau Rent a Girlfriend. Saya rasa nak cekik-cekik the protagonist dia kita harapkan macam mula-mula useless tak apalah, kasih chance lah. Lepas tu dah itu orang dah lah complain, kata bila nak habiskan nak cheat manga dengan anime ni, because nampak gaya macam dia tak ada development, dia macam tu ya perangai. So I still like the girls as characters. So kalau nak collect karakter figurine ke apa, tu lain cerita lah. Tapi macam rasa tawar hati sikit nak tengok. Macam now season 2 is playing on in the summer season. I'm go like tak apalah, nanti lah binge it sometime lah on Crunchyroll because
But I think yang pentingnya is that a world building anime does not have to be isekai to be very good. A lot of the world building shows actually are not isekai. They are characters who are actual characters in the story world.
Yes.
So I think just focus kat situ is better lah. Tapi
Yelah.
kalau you nak tengok a comedy MMO punya game character which is really about a stupid girl yang became overpowered because of her actions in the MMORPG, you tolonglah tengok cerita nama dia Bofuri. It's about
Is that good lah? Dia kelakar ke? Is that
kelakar?
Gelak-gelak kind of thing.
Okay.
Dia bukan tak humor, dia betul-betul aku takut mati, aku buat defense maximum.
Oh ni, yes, that's the English name kan. So I'm afraid of ni losing, so I max my defense.
Satu lah, Bofuri.
Nama karakter seorang, I don't know main character ke tak, nama Maple satu one of the
Maple,
girls.
Maple,
yes. Karakter dia Maple. Later on dia dapat pet dia, nama dia Syrup.
Maple syrup.
So you can imagine the kind of show it is.
Aku nak makan pancake sekarang. Now you mention that kind of words.
Another anime yang worth checking out this season, right, is a naughty anime, Isekai Make You, or aka How to Fuck Your Dog Wolf Girlfriend.
Baik ada sign. Aku punya modul sikit R15.
Yeah. That one is not that bad. Apa actually
kan. Tapi kan that's an isekai that is kena, kalau nak tengok dengan secara penuhnya kena
lebih wholesome macam Gundam je, Gundam.
Kena sedut. Tapi because it's on Crunchyroll, dia censor, you know what? No. In Crunchyroll they censor the words. He's speaking in Japanese. I don't understand what he's saying. But why did you have to bleep it? Biarlah dia cakap. Agaknya dia kata cincin kot, opai kot.
Dude, they pay attention to the nipples in detail or in uncensored version. Okay.
Tak apa.
There you go, category the great. You watched it.
Yeah, I know you. Kami saja nak trap sesiapa penonton yang sebenarnya kami akan, hello, Jabatan Kementerian Dalam Negeri. He's going to end up with like what 5, 6, 7 girls. Now he started with one and they're doing it like every episode. But the audacity of the plot. Syaz tak pernah tengok cerita ni kan?
Aku suka robot.
Syaz baik. Tak Syaz. Benda ni kelakar because dia punya premise, dia terror bunuh. Dia kena bunuh bandit. Bila bunuh berdarah-darah semua. But for money. So bila tak ada duit, bunuh orang. Tak ada duit, bunuh orang. Pasal mamak ni kata, kau nak slave tu. Slave tu kau punya, kau boleh buat apa kau nak dengan dia. So by episode 4 dah ada adegan. Dah. And he goes on killing human beings so that he can have some nuki. Bloody hell, the premise.
Bro. He's the hero, He is killing people for slaves.
Dia bukan orang jahat, dia hero. I was like, what the hell, man? And then I shouldn't be shocked because I do feel that this story mungkin macam in the greater scheme of things mungkin level tengah, level bawah. You know, anime orang tak peduli sangat. Because dia punya studio yang buat dia nama Passion. Passion ni bila tengok list anime dulu dia pun semua jenis ecchi juga. Ada company nak buat figure. They're making the figure of the dog slave girl. I was like, oh my god. But never mind. But whatever. Apa Muhammad Yasir kata uncensored version better. Ya ke? Uncle tak tahu apa benda uncensored tu. Oh, nanti Uncle
uncensored is better. Uncensored is better.
Saya suka pixel.
Muhammad Yasir, I'm going to give you advice not as an anime fan but as a fan of any media, right? Uncensored is always better.
I think he was making a statement. He wasn't asking. Hey, you are preaching to the converted. Anyway, so I mean, not talking to you, Shad. Andy, I was talking to our commenter. Anyway, oh God, okay lah. Kita dah nak sampai penghujung dah. Actually, we are rocking it at 2 hours 20 minutes. It is 8 episodes. Tapi,
Shaz. Just so you know, right, that means our friend here dah tengok dah the uncensored version.
Siapa?
You.
I mean, you watch it halfway. Any show macam kau tengok halfway, kau dah nampak censored. Stop this thing.
Huh? Why?
Because why would you continue watching something that is censored? You stop and go search for the uncensored one.
Yes.
Then you get the full experience.
Yeah, mula-mula aku fikir kan, why did you make the censored version? But rupanya because in Japan when they show it, if any ecchi shows, ATX will get it fully uncensored lah. So if they want to show it, itu pasal World's End Harem. I was like, what? Tapi bila tengok uncensored pun, it's quite late. I mean, yelah, dia tak boleh lah R18 kan. R18 tu dah terlalu sangat. Tapi macam, okay,
depends whether it is broadcast to the world or not. Kalau it is broadcast to the world, there will be censored versions. Even macam cerita Super Robot Wars, ada some censored punya portion. I didn't even realise it was censored because to me it looked naturally done as macam like, you know, with fog and smoke and whatnot. Then later I realised, oh, there's actually an anime censorship style. dia letak ada foggy punya environment, tiba-tiba ada
yes.
light
Dia
semua.
dia
I did not know at that time
hijau
that was
atau
Japanese
putih.
censorship.
Atau putih. Putih atau dia buat
But
tabur.
tapi they do it in such a way that macam you
Macam
have
dia macam
tu
stylized.
ada macam tempat
Yes.
lampu shining. So
Yes.
it looks
Yes.
like a beam of light
Yes.
covering the
Yes.
best parts. So
Yes.
like
Yes.
kau tak rasa pun at first.
Yes.
But it has become the norm now. A lot of the best anime or best top anime of the season kan are this sort of anime yang ada uncensored version. Redo of Healer, it was very shocking. We have 2 versions. Even Tokyo Revengers kan, you have 2 versions, uncensored and uncensored.
Oh, ada
Because-
uncensored version
Because of the satu
Villain.
lambang gang tu kan ada swastika.
Oh, I tak ingat apa ke Crunchyroll nampak tak.
It
sebelah
had
swastika.
become an issue. The fans were discussing about it. They were not actually happy about it because apparently the swastika is just exclusively for Nazis. But you see
It's not.
swastika
It's a
sign
Buddhist. It's a Buddhist
Buddhist
sign.
sign.
The Buddhist sign is the reverse mirror image of the German swastika.
Okay, we know that the Japanese know that. What does the work people do the work people care? Of course not.
Betul lah. Sama juga macam because I buy figurines. So kalau nak beli Mikey, the boss tu, dia punya Nendoroid tu, kalau beli daripada company that makes it, Good Smile Company, for overseas people, you cannot buy it from the Good Smile Company in Japan punya website, but for overseas tapi based in Japan. Tapi kalau kau beli dari diorang, they will send you the censored version. So belakang jacket dia kanji kosong, kanji. Flag dia hitam je. So banyak people in the know, they buy from Ami or just buy it from somewhere else yang memang jual untuk Japanese, so that you don't you so kalau macam orang-orang yang suka macam I want to buy my figurine from a Malaysian seller who is a partner shop with Good Smile. So you will get the censored version lah, because dia tahu dia nak hantar ke Malaysia kan, atau anything outside Japan. So they have separately manufactured the characters without the. So macam motor dia ada the swastika, jacket dia, flag dia. So macam a lot of people in the know, I mean obviously will know how to circumvent it lah. But that's by the by lah for censorship in anime. So sekarang after answering a few questions, so kita akan ke segmen seterusnya. If you've noticed, kita tak cakap apa-apa pun episod ke-8, and sekarang kita dah masuk harapan para panelis. Ada sebabnya. But anyway, mari kita ke segmen yang terakhir. Ara. So, sebelum kita bermula memberi harapan untuk episod Overlord musim keempat yang seterusnya, studio Madhouse telah mengumumkan dengan key visual ni, filem Overlord mandiri atau standalone yang pertama. Because berbanding dengan 2 filem yang dahulunya yang merupakan kompilasi episod-episod dari musim Overlord yang lepas. So, filem ni berjudul Gekijoban Obarodo Sei Okokuhen atau Overlord The Holy Kingdom, merangkumi light novel jilid 12 dan 13. So, the reason apa pasal saya nak masukkan harapan ni mix dengan episod ke-8 yang disiarkan Selasa baru ini. Episod 8 tu dia dah masuk volume 14. So kita ada skip. The first 7 episode was up to volume.
Sorry?
Hello?
Sila ulang?
I think it got cut off lah.
First time dia punya internet ada issue.
Yeah, I think that's the disconnect sign. But I think this movie is about the Jabaldorf punya campaign with the Slane Theocracy.
Yang dia orang ada attack dia ni kan, the food punya caravan apa ke? Is it?
Yeah, not the food caravan happens later. This one is because of Jabaldorf, Demiurge surround the Slane Theocracy. They didn't show that thing in detail about the punya true motivations.
Yang Demiurge go away buat dia punya own actions tu kan?
After season 2 kan, dia lawan dekat the kingdom. And then dia pergi lawan dengan Slane Theocracy dekat kawasan bukit-bukit, and then destabilize that country.
It
And
makes
then
a lot of sense lah. Kalau they make it into a movie, because there will be a lot of action-packed punya scenes, because it will be fully focused dekat lawan. I mean, you know, and it is not Ainz as the main hero. It will feature Demiurge.
Could be because you have to understand kan, we don't see anything about that whole campaign kan in season 4 or 5 tau. So it'll be interesting to see how this thing plays out lah.
You okay ke?
Hari siang lah Kudo.
Tu lah.
Siang.
Kita ada mana ni? Kudo dia isikan topi. I think dia punya mic ada issue ke?
Hear me now?
Boleh. Or could be the phone habis bateri kot. Sambil kita tunggu Kudo, just an update. The new Dragon Ball Super is coming out soon. Apparently, it's going to be a premiere launch. So katanya BuzzPop dah ada dia punya ni. Not sure if one of my friends menang ke tak. Kena tengok lah.
Are you watching?
Yeah, tapi aku tak sure bila lagi. Tengoklah macam mana.
Because I'm going to the location tomorrow, but for different reason lah. And to be honest, I've already seen the movie.
Oh, ya ke? Through apa? Through Yarhar methods lah.
Through unconventional methods lah.
Uish, our host telah drop So kita tengok balik kita punya ni. So okay, while kita tengah tunggu kat sini, did they discuss further tak on Demiurge punya since we're talking about dia punya campaign tu kan, when he returned in season 4 ni, he mentioned that dia dah siap, right? He has already completed dia punya campaign, wasn't it?
Yeah. Demiurge kan, if you notice kan in the previous seasons kan, he was in charge of the sheep farm. Okay. It's called a sheep farm, but a lot of the viewers believe kan it's actually human farm actually tau. Dia buat parchment for spells scrolls, and those scrolls are made from human skin now for Nazaric punya use lah basically. That's why when
these are all the slaves that they captured ke?
Yes.
Oh, macam mana?
These are the sheep.
Wow.
You remember when they
mentioned about this? They mentioned this, or is it takut the light novel saja?
It is mentioned. I think the people mentioned in the light novel, but okay. If you notice during the season 2, right, when they were launching attack on the lizard people, right? Demiurge prepared him a throne now, Ainz, made from sheep bone. But Ainz kata, this is not sheep. There's a lot of human bones here. Betul kan?
Dia macam what's all this kan?
Yeah. And then in season 3, when they were saving Sebastian punya girlfriend from the 8 fingers, what to do with her? Demiurge kata, why don't you give him to me? I can have her cook food for the sheep at my camp.
Oh, yeah.
So she can boil potatoes and feed the sheep there. So Demiurge kan tak tahu kan use the term sheep kan as humans tau. That's why, because they don't value human life much. At least for Demiurge lah.
Yeah, because the Nazaric is above all as far as they're concerned.
Yeah, and this campaign dengan Dwarf kan is probably relate to that, the human camps yang Demiurge buat was going to be involved with the campaign perang dengan the Slane Theocracy. So it's going to be interesting to see the atrocities yang Damage buat and the war crimes that dia akan buat dekat Theocracy during the whole war campaign with them, just to destabilize them so that the Nazri can come in and help.
See, this is one thing aku notice pasal Jepun tau, in general. Why they have the censored, uncensored version, and certain times when they make it into film and whatnot, certain portions which might be considered atrocious, is because when you broadcast it on TV, you don't have much control over who is watching it, budak-budak ke and whatnot kan. But when you are at the cinema, or when your censored versions are on media that has to be purchased, there is another stop check kat situ lah to verify that the audience that is going to watch this is people who should be watching lah. Or at the very least their parents are saying, I'm okay with my kids watching. Macam Evangelion kan, it's like crazy shit though. But then later on, dia punya, when they make the films and whatnot, and whatever uncensored versions they have, you have to pay for it. So it allows only people who are of certain age to get access to it lah.
Anyway, sorry tadi tadi just I don't know what happened. Just my system shut down, just like that.
Habis power ke?
I'm plugged in. I do not know. I will have to run a diagnostic, but sorry about that. But thank you for maintaining the ship afloat. Where did I stop? And what were you guys talking about?
We're talking about the movie.
The movie.
Sama the movie tu.
Yeah, basically the movie. Sorry, kepada penonton di rumah minta maaf tadi ada kesilapan teknikal. So wayang yang akan ditunjukkan, kita pun tak tahu date bila. The latest information was key visual yang ada di overlay ni. Ada orang predict 2023, tapi yang orang dah cakap memang dia orang dah announce nak buat wayang season 4. So kita orang pun tak tahu, wow, season 4 ni sebenarnya dah split between, because nampak macam boleh kita separatekan cerita Holy Kingdom ni, tapi reference kepada Holy Kingdom dah dibuat di episod ke-8. If you guys remember, masa Philip the noble bangsawan yang useless yang nak plan, dia nak attack caravan Ainz punya kerajaan yang memberi makanan bantuan ke Holy Kingdom. Setengah tempat yang dapat subtitle dari bukan setengah tempat, orang yang subscribe Crunchyroll je yang dapat the word Holy Kingdom ditukar kepada Slane Theocracy. So banyak fans dekat US, Europe, asal Slane nak makanan daripada Ainz? What happened in between episode 7 and 8? But even so pun, kalau tak ada kesilapan tu pun, untuk penonton di Malaysia ke apa, kalau tak baca buku lah, apa pasal siapa Holy Kingdom ni? Kan? So macam tak tahulah, macam mula-mula I tak tangkap sangat, pada I just like so macam, so wayang ni will be the arc for yang will have 2 volumes lah, involving how Holy Kingdom dengan kerajaan Ainz bertembung lah, dan something obviously will happen, and it looks like if they're sending in bantuan ke Holy Kingdom, mungkin at the end of it Holy Kingdom subjugates to Ainz lah, so Ainz dah tambah lagi satu ni lah. So tapi just to sebelum kita nak sebut harapan ni, this one we can do the YouTube if you don't mind, Syaz, just to give an idea what's happening in the next episode, which is
episode 9 tadi.
Because tadi kita tak tengok habis kan, kita berhenti kan.
Tak, dia 30 second je.
Oh ya ke?
Nak show ke?
Tak apalah, tak payah show lah, because I guess kalau penonton di rumah nak tengok, sila ke laman YouTube account kepada Kudo Anime. Di situ ada snippet 30 saat. Tadi Syah dah tunjuk awal masa reaksi satu ayat, so we are not showing it again. So now back to the question. So apakah harapan anda tentang apa yang boleh kita lihat dalam episod-episod Overlord yang berikutnya, dengan mengambil kira reaksi kerajaan Ainz Olgun terhadap perbuatan pihak bangsawan Picisan Reaksi menyerang konvoi membawa bahan makanan bantuan ke negara Holy Kingdom. Yes, silakan.
I'm hoping that there will be an attack, an actual war, as in that they will start fighting the people who have been doing all these attacks on the caravan. But I harap teori Brazilnya there will be an interference by another faction. So whether this interference will be from an existing rival macam the slow Theocracy ke, or a whole new faction which payoff will be like mungkin season 5 or season 6, mungkin dia baru keluar atas sini macam like ni orang baru ni siapa pula ni kan, different group adventurers ke, or scouts from another kingdom that baru begin to hear of all this politics going on here. They're like, hey, let's go see what's going on over there, send our scouts over, because right now we have a small bubble of kingdoms where we can see the interaction slowly, but we don't know what's beyond. How big is the world? Is it just one continent, or is it multiple continents?
But you bear in mind kan, you have a theory, but that's based on the ending of episode 8 kan, masa Albedo datang. Kalau and then kalau kepada penonton, kalau semua ingat masa Albedo approach King Raja S3ST tu, dia punya surat watikah tu ada cap mohon of all the vassal states including Empayar Baharuth. So you know, the Dwarven Kingdom stamp is there. I mean, is that middle picture at the bottom in the, I can't make it any bigger lah, but if you guys are watching this on the big screen, you see there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nations. The Lizard Nation, the Dwarven...
No, Lizard. The Dragon Nation.
Diorang belum ni, Dragon Nation yang Frost tu.
The Dragon Nation kan, I think they got involved during the Slane Theocracy punya.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but whatever it is, they got, you know, so, and then Albedo gave him an ultimatum 1 month. This bit I find, ini, what are you going to do? Just, this is another bit yang aku macam, yang buat salah, Bangang Bahlul, mana dah, Krani Office mana lah, tapi you're punishing the whole nation. I don't know, but just because it does feel like a bit of an ego trip, in my opinion. But
it's not an ego trip. This is not an error. You don't attack a caravan that bears the sign on error. You do it on purpose because you know who's carrying what and who's doing what there.
Probably it's not just one caravan.
Tapi lagi satu pun, if I'm not mistaken, the reason they macam planted the seeds so that this kind of thing happen is just to plant a seed of civil war within Reaksi, so they could fight among themselves to weaken them. But now it's like all out war. It's like, despite the fact the king say, I'll give you my head, no, he'll give you a month. You know, I mean, then you wonder. Remember our first question in one of the earlier segments, the Tali Barut, what's her role in this? Is she actively
could be
Renner tu.
Renner apa memang is working for Ainz. I'm very sure of it.
No, I think we know that already, that she is working for Ainz, but the fact in what way, whether or not, you know, this would mean the ruination of her own country.
She doesn't care.
Yalah. So, and she got that little box. I wonder what will that box give her. So that's quite interesting to find out, because obviously I've not read.
There's Clive's testicles.
You and your testicles. So anyway, have you guys got any other comments on the Harapan?
Not really.
Okay, I guess.
My Harapan is I hope Hilma will join the Please Let Me Become Your Cruci Ain Sama Club.
Tak apalah, Hilma tak apalah.
Hilma, Cygnus.
Perempuan yang kena torture tu. Tak apalah. Tak apa.
We need as many female chairs in this series.
Kau tak nak Cocutus. Cocutus.
Calculus dah ada buat dah. Now we're waiting for Demi Urge, Aura, Mare.
Oh god.
Sebastian.
Which one is of the elf is the girl? Yang macam lelaki tu is the girl kan? Because the one with the skirt is the boy, right? Because they cross-dress. Because they cross-dress.
The creator thought it was funny to make them cross-dress.
In fact, one of the suggestions for the utopian nation is we should make all children cross-dress. Yeah, and then episod kelima kita tak boleh bedah pasal nanti kena serang. Anyway, okay, dengan itu kita akhiri sesi pertama kolaborasi anime sama OVERLORD dengan BuzzPop ini. Minta maaf tadi ada kesilapan teknikal. Hopefully that didn't bother your enjoyment that much. Kepada panelis Karya Sama Desta, terima kasih kerana menjayakan sesi bedah kolaborasi ulung ni. Kami berharap anda akan terus bersama kami dalam sesi pembedah siri-siri anime yang akan datang. Untuk siri Overlord ni kami akan menyambung sesi ulasan untuk episod 9 dan 10 di masa terdekat. Oleh itu nantikan pengumuman dari kami. Dan tak dilupakan siri-siri anime musim luruh atau fall season anime 2022 akan bermula pada bulan Oktober, dan kolaborasi SOC dan BuzzPop ini akan menyambung sesi review untuk season 6 Boku no Hero Academia atau Hero Acad yang akan disiarkan episod pertama untuk season 6 pada hari Sabtu 1 hari bulan Oktober, dan juga core kedua musim pertama Spy Family. Trying not to be too ambitious, tapi oleh kerana fall season ni akan diangka dipenuhi dengan IP-IP agak gempak, kami juga mungkin akan memuatkan sesi bedah siri Chainsaw Man yang diadaptasi oleh studio MAPPA dari manga yang dikaryakan mangaka genius Fujimoto Tatsuki. This is minta-mintalah dia punya hype tak lebih daripada apa yang ditunjuk, because ada orang cakap trailer dia boleh lah buat cantik, tapi we'll see. But diorang macam all out. Chairman MAPPA dah cakap kami nak buat semua Tatsuki Fujimoto punya works into anime, including his one-off macam Sayonara Eri, you know, that one about the manga, Fire Punch semua dia nak buat. Dia katalah nak buat. They are so impressed with him because a lot of people yang baca manga by Tatsuki Fujimoto does find his writing fantastic actually. So, seperti biasa nantikanlah pengumuman tarikh dan masa sesi bedah siri-siri ini dari kami pada akhir bulan September ni hopefully. So, anyway, itu saja dari kami. So, thanks very much Andri. And thanks very much again to Shaz dan saya Kudo Maharizu. Signing off, ijo desu. Mata to de. Okay, bye.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.